Not gonna lie, but
Well, you are chilling. How are you doing, sir?
besides me looking at the world and everybody burning in flames,
Yeah.
seen a lot of flames, a lot of grave digging, a lot of tears, a lot of sad and depressed going on a lot lately. Um, but that's them. But me, I've been great. I've been fine. I've been yippity doo dah. I've been, look here. I've been in my world, doing me, doing just fine. Leg feeling way better after the dog bite. I couldn't really walk or really participate at work like I wanted to. I had these pills putting me to sleep a lot. So basically, I was like Neo, stuck in the Matrix. Um, and I woke up, my body's starting to feel better. I could be able to move and stuff. And then, like I said, I've been great. I really been doing much. It's just been spectating, looking at the world, getting nieces and nephews, and just been looking at some shows and stuff like that. I am upset. My notes are not here. That's a problem.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to resend it.
That's all right. We're not there yet, so you got plenty of time to get those notes pulled up. Because as we always say, again, guys, here on The Podcast is Real. If you already read, if you follow our social medias, or even if you looked at the title when you first jumped into this, you will know that we got a lot of Avatar to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about us talking about some Avatar tonight is because not only in the past week, as we start off with the week that was, did a Netflix show drop on Netflix, but quite honestly, I've known this man literally his entire life, and I don't think we've ever had an Avatar conversation.
We have not had an Avatar conversation.
You hit me up a couple of days ago to tell me about, your start of the journey of the live action, but that's technically the only Avatar conversation we've ever had.
Yeah, about
Despite
that.
the fact that we both know that we've both watched the show, but we've never talked about it. That changes tonight. But right now, that's one thing that's in the week that was. There's a couple other things that happened in the week that was. I said it earlier, but I want to go ahead and spotlight it again right now. I don't know where this man went. He'll be back soon. But I will say it again. This week, in fact, today, our friend, very, very musically talented, very beautiful Kiko Black dropped a new song, Demon Mode. It is available on all streaming platforms, so you guys should definitely go listen to that. If you're going to be in town, she is performing tomorrow. If you're able to, definitely go check out Kiko. Kiko will actually be a guest here on the podcast in a few weeks. So she's going to be coming back to join us, and I can even talk to her a little bit about Demon Time, Demon Mode, and all of that stuff. But you know what?
Kiko!
But
Come
Kiko's
back,
not the
Kiko!
But Kiko is not the only person that has dropped new music in the past week. No. Because also, Amber, aka VIP Panda, also dropped a new song this week.
Oh, Panda!
He dropped a new song yesterday, Meant to Be. It is also available on the streaming platforms. So you definitely go check her out as well.
Shout out to Panda! That's your button, Panda. Panda, that's your button. That's your button, Panda. Panda. We gotta.
Yes. She will also be coming on here very shortly. I'm not going to tell you guys when, but Kiko and Amber, which is crazy that they both dropped music in the same week because they're both in the month of March, are sliding through on the Podcast is Real to talk to you boys.
Were you trying to have them debate about their own songs? Trying to have a Billboard #1 music chart going on? What's going on over here?
We're gonna find out what's going on with them. That's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, you making it seem like they got some beef and war with these music
no,
right now. Like, hold on, I'm like, hold on, that's
I'm not done. You're insinuating. Don't speak that into existence, sir. Don't speak that into existence. You're not gonna put that on me if they start beefing. You're not gonna put that on me, sir. Don't you come in here and talk about that. No, Kiko, Panda, that is not what's going on. We're just talking about how you both released music this week, and you know what? You guys aren't the only ones that released music this week, because Workaholics Anonymous, our man X, also dropped new music this week.
Salute to X. Salute to brother X. A month and 2 weeks. No, month and 3 weeks. Yup. Yup. Yeah, I'm still counting. Y'all think I'm joking? I'm so serious, bro. I got a month and there's a month and 3 weeks. I am excited.
That's what I'm
got no
saying.
idea.
So everybody is on their stuff right now, and you're happy to see it. All these black content creators just out there just doing it. But yes, they all dropped music this week. You should definitely support every last one of them. We've already talked about the other things that happened this past week. My 29 days are officially complete. Every single day this month, I posted not once, but twice a day. Every day. Sometimes 3 times, because I still also have to keep up with the podcast posts. Which, by the way, apparently we had somebody through here last week that we dropped a clip this morning that's sparking conversation on both platforms right now. Because, Summer Drew came through and said some stuff about Jogo that's got some people talking.
Yeah. What? It's just... Wait, hold on. Don't make me... Okay, you just make me go pull up the comments. All right. You just made me pull up the comments. I didn't want to pull up the comments. I didn't want to pull up the comments.
And TikTok that people slid through and made sure to give their opinions. Especially here on TikTok. Apparently they're trying to be anti-Summer around here. I'm like, no, hold on. We ain't anti-Summer over here.
No, I ain't anti-Summer. Like, I ain't saying that at all. But you feel me? I'm just saying we gotta put respect. I know what I'm talking about. Don't look at me. I ain't do it. I ain't do it. I got shot at. You got the hot seat. That's the power of the hot seat. That's your hot take. So you gotta eat where you stay. You gotta eat where you lay, okay? Nah, I have to take the hot seat. We all took the hot seat. It's your turn. It's your turn, baby. Oh yeah. Okay, let me look at these comments real quick.
Okay, he's gonna look at the comments real quick and why he.
Okay, Danny Dill said he took 15 fingers. Ayo, I mean he did. He did. He took 15. He ate 15 fingers. That's what he did.
I think he's talking about like he's making that sexual.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just responding to the comments I'm seeing.
Right.
Make sure if you're gonna post this, make sure you just put their comments right in front of us too while responding to, just in case you want to do that. We got Charles over here.
Need to have that prepared.
Charles over here says she's tripping with 4 dead bones emojis. Charles, all right, like Charles, I hear you. I ain't the hot seat today, so hey, it's all good. Sukuna called him strong. I said that. Thank you for agreeing with me. She couldn't be my friend. Lies.
I know, right?
Lies. I feel like you just saying that because of the take. But if you really sit down and talk to her, it'd be cool. It's just an opinion about anime. Relax.
The community is. There are people that will not want to rock with you if you don't agree with their anime.
I'm just saying they got to relax. Shay, she couldn't be. Oh, I read that. I'm sorry. Grim, she bugging. Y'all, all right. So essentially, the content of the story doesn't matter. I don't know. This is Ghost of Timeline Past. Okay, we're not reading that. That's too much. Rose, last one. Jogo burned up 3 people who just got out of the close fight. He didn't do shit. Jogo sucks. But again, he still took out y'all Women Crush Wednesdays. No matter how you look at it.
And those are just the TikTok comments. They also over there on Insta.
No, I'm gonna go. We going Insta. We going both.
Okay, so this is the comment responding portion of the podcast is real. You know what? Slide it in on the list.
I'm saying this is pretty good. We talk like this shit. We should do this a lot more often. They got some comments. Of course. Vigorous prophecy. Tell your boy Nanami the same shit. A loss is a loss. That's why he thoroughly cooked right now. I said that, and she jumped on me. Did she not jump on me for saying that?
I didn't say
I said that.
I sat back and just let y'all go.
She jumped on me for saying that. I said that. Now, she was like, Mahito finished him. I said, true. However, if Jogo never even burnt him. Nanami probably still would be moving a lot more better fights against Mahito, because when he was fighting against him with Sukuna, I'm not Sukuna, we were fighting him with Mahito earlier, they was both jumping him, but still Nanami was doing his thing with them. So it was kind of like almost one-sided, but Itadori made things better when it came to the fight. But yes, I agree. Absolutely. Vigorous prophecy. Thank you. I agree. I said that. Lazy CJ. Let her cook. All right, we got a Jogo hater right here. And that's a Jogo hater right there. Greedy Yin Yang. Bad take. Jogo fought the two strongest people of the universe, but smoked some of the others. He showed us the gap between him and the others, honestly. Even Mahito and Kenjaku is in a different league. I said that too, but hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But I agree. I agree with that thoroughly, because I literally said that against Summer, and then Summer literally started pulling the gun in my head. But I love her though, because that's the hot seat.
To be fair, I think a lot of people are misinterpreting Summer. Like, she even does make sure to say, I'm not saying he's not strong. I'm just saying he's trash. In other words, she's not saying the character's not strong. She's just saying she personally doesn't like the character.
But they on her. They on her though. Okay. Oh shit. Elijah. Dot Tyrant. Just mad Jacob. Just mad you got cooked your favorite characters. Basically saying you just mad because your favorite character got cooked and not me. And I said that, and that triggered the fuck out of her. So it's all good. Briggs voice. Jogo was a common denominator to compare Satoru and Ryomen. I mean, they got literally clapped too. So but then Jogo, you know what? Everybody got pockets ran from big, strong niggas. So it was really more like, okay, it is what it is. When you look at Jujutsu Kaisen, because Jujutsu Kaisen is really more of a jumping, but it's very one. But when it's one-on-one fights, it will become one-sided. It could definitely be a one-sided fight of the opponent. It would definitely be a one-sided fight. If it's a one-on-one, you will see a lot of big difference between that. That's why they jump a lot.
Why they jump?
That's why they jump.
Dumb. That's the thing. They're not dumb.
They're like, nah, we're not finna fight you one-on-one. What is that? I'm finna jump you, bro. What is that? Nah, test these hands. Mean right, mean left, uppercut. What up? Look, and then bam. Like, y'all saw all the one-on-one fights. It wasn't even fair how most of them was even fighting. And I can't wait for y'all to even get to my boy. Oh my God, I can't wait till y'all get to the Ceiling Game arc, and when they animate that, and then y'all see my boy Yuto do his thing. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God. And I'm gonna be like, exactly, that's why he's my favorite. But respectfully, all the comments out there, yes, 80% of you are absolutely agreeing with me, and 20% of you are actually shooting guns at Summer. Please don't shoot guns at Summer. That is just a hot take, but at the same time, that's part of having a hot take seat. So hey, welcome to my world.
And if you don't want to be Summer's friend, that is fine. That is more friendship for us. So you know what?
What you mean? I'll take all the friendship any day. The shots will be made in 1 week, 1 month and 3 weeks. Yep.
Another thing that happened this past week is that Demon Slayer once again pulled their old trope of making you spend a lot of money to go to the movie theater to see an arc you've already saw, just so you can stick around to see the first episode of a new season that hasn't come out yet. If you want to spend money on that, that's good for y'all.
They trying to get their money, boy. That's nasty. That's pretty nasty, bro. That's nasty. Demon Slayer.
They know they did this last time, and people saw that, got mad about it, and then they did it again, and people still went. And what do movie tickets go for today? Like $15?
Mm-hmm.
To go watch an arc you've already seen?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only people I get is because we got some of our friends that are big time. They got invited to some red carpet premieres for Demon Slayer. That's different. You know, y'all out there promoting yourselves and you promote the community, but for everybody else, I'm like, y'all took that money. I took that L. I'm sorry, Key.
May the force be with you.
That's all I can say.
May the force be with you.
They came in and said, we got to have money.
I'm telling you, that's disgusting, bro. That's disgusting. That's why I didn't go.
I
Not even the
wasn't
first time.
going.
When
I
I heard
read
about
the
it, I said,
manga,
oh,
but I
okay.
was
But
like,
now I was
hey.
like, wait.
I watched the season, and as far as the first episode goes, first of all, I can just wait till it starts, and I've read the manga. I know what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my brain set right now. But if I was a huge fan of Demon Slayer, I would have 100% want to go to the store, so I'm like paying for the money and stuff.
I mean, had I not watched the last arc, like if I was a situation right now where I've been so busy that I never found the time to watch the arc, I would have went. Because why not?
You think, but the
Yeah.
average Demon Slayer fans, you already know how they are, though. The average Demon Slayer, like the average of them are gonna like call that bullshit. When
And for anybody that's like, how's that any different from a person that goes to the movie theater to see a movie they like, and then they'll go back to the movie theater like a few days later to go watch it again? Here's my difference with that. Because both times you went, you had to go to the movie theater for said movie because said movie is only in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that y'all just went to go pay $15 for, you can go on Crunchyroll and see.
They gotta deal with Crunchyroll too now.
That's a difference.
They got Crunchyroll too now.
But the biggest thing that I think, and we touched on this a little bit, that was news this past week, is that announcement that a Naruto live action is being made. I'm not going to be excited yet. I'm not going to be down on it yet. Right now, I'm just like, okay, they're doing this.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
Because
Get your ass on, bro. Get your goddamn.
because we've seen how back in the day, the word live action Netflix was like the death sentence for animes. But then lately, we've had an adaptation that we both thought was pretty good on Netflix, the One Piece adaptation.
I
But
mean,
then
I told y'all the One Piece is set the. If the writer of this show takes time, he has set the bar high.
Yeah. And then on the flip side,
high. So y'all gonna have to
we
come
also
in.
had the Yu Yu Hakusho live action that I was kind of down on.
And you know how excited I was, and I'm a Yu Yu Hakusho fan. What?
And then, of course, next up is one that technically is not an anime, it's a straight cartoon with the live action Avatar, which I won't say how I feel about that because that comes later. That's what we call a tease in the industry business. But the Naruto, it's my favorite anime. So now it's my turn to be super nervous.
Look here. I don't know about y'all, but I got notes. I got times. I got chapters. I made notes about this. I'm ready. It ain't top of the hour, but I'm ready.
It ain't top of the hour.
God, I am.
Not yet. What the heck is that? Why do they just be pulling stuff up out of nowhere? Can we not do that? Can we not do that? They did that to me. I was like, what the world, man? Why they put me in the toilet? Like, I promise I'm not trash, guys.
The trash? Nah, that's not what that means. That means shit.
I promise I'm not that too. Let me go ahead and adjust myself for you guys because it's about to get real serious up in here.
I really like Frank Ocean joint. That is a name I thought I'd never see. And prove me wrong.
I know, right? Like,
you start my day up on the roof.
but as you guys can see above our head, because it is that part of the podcast, as you can see, that is our podcast. The podcast is real. That is the hashtag or the @ that you can find on all social media platforms with the exception of Twitter/X because they don't allow that many characters. But for everywhere else, you can find it at The Podcast is Real. That includes right here on TikTok. That includes over there on YouTube. That includes over there on Instagram. Those are the main three. You can also find it at places, like Twitch and stuff, because trust me, it's like, why would we do a podcast is real Twitch page opened up to be continued? But for now, you definitely want to find where you can find this anywhere and hit the follow button because we're going to have lots of content. We're going to start doing extra content and we're going to start bringing everything to you guys. So it is definitely right there. And if anybody is just like, oh, well, we don't really want to just go out and do that right now, there is the cheat right there. It says right at the bottom where it says here. Now y'all can just click on it and y'all can just hit that follow button right now. You see, I made it easy for you. I got two more things to talk about in the week that was, because this is important. Technically, this one wasn't a week that it happened in this past week, because technically it happened earlier in the month, but we didn't know about it until this past week because she made sure not to tell us until this past week. But once again, and you talk about, me wanting to catch, I feel like soccer at this point. Every time I feel like I've caught up to some of these other content creators, they pop up on billboards again. Once again, that's twice now.
Oh yeah, she getting paid.
Give it up for the lovely Moon Killer, guys.
She getting paid. She getting paid. She getting
You got
paid.
me feeling like Sakura out here. It's like every time I feel like I've caught up.
She getting paid.
Look, man, everybody knows that's the dream for me, man.
Here we go.
Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Hey.
Bling, ching, bling, bling with the cheddar.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Moon, man. She deserves absolutely all the success she gets. She works hard. She is out there. She is definitely, and she finally has her computer set up, because for years she has been streaming directly through her PlayStation, but now she's got her PC set up, so she's official now when it comes to her streams. And it is just big thing. And she knows it is always love over here. And if there's nobody else supports, she's got support in this chat.
Just want to let you know, though, Moon, you will be on a hot seat in Geek Retreat, so just get ready for that. Okay. Uh-huh.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you on a hot seat. You getting hot seat. You getting hot seat. We got these cameras going to look so good. It's going to be the first big stream we're going to actually do. I'm so excited. Y'all have no idea. It's going to be great. I'm just teasing a little bit of how this production is going to look. It's going to look real nice. I've been planning this out for a minute.
Freaking tastic. But I also got something else, too. We also got another friend. You know what I'm saying? Who has this, well, first of all, we got a couple that does this, but we got one in particular that is always got a smile on their face, but it seems to always go sideways whenever we try to bring up the famous allegations.
Oh.
And I got to ask you right now, because at some point I might even put this up on the Insta story. Jenna, Miss Worst Generation, I got a question for you if somebody wants to run back and tell you. If you're not famous, I need you to explain this. You're not famous. I need you to explain this, Jenna.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
By the way, it wasn't just Anime NYC/Crunchyroll, but Anime Frontier/Crunchyroll also posted Jenna. But she ain't famous, guys.
Got him. We fucking got him.
Well, you got caught. Hey, we
red-handed.
You got caught. We got him red-handed.
Dun dun dun.
911. Ayo, 911. What's your emergency? Ayo, lying. We caught her. I don't know where that came from. That came out of nowhere. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
But you know what? It's okay. It's okay, because Jenna, we caught you. We got evidence.
We got him.
It's okay. It's okay. So it's gonna be hard to be in the same room with some of these people. Now y'all realize what I'm striving for, though. You know what I'm saying? When I tell these people, they think I'm playing when I tell them I'm trying to get on y'all level. It's like, no, I'm really trying to get on their level. Not that I want to pull them down. I just want to come up because that's what it's love around here. You got too many people in this community, man, that just only wants to be up themselves and step on other people to do it. We can all eat out here. We all can. And we can all come up to the promised lands together because it's okay. Because I stood in New York with this man. We both went to New York for the very first time, and we went out at about 2:00 in the morning when nobody was on the street. It was actually closer to like almost 4:00 in the morning.
It was so cold. Oh my God, it was so cold.
But the scenery was beautiful. Manhattan, the lights, the billboards, and this man looked up and he told me, I want to be on a billboard.
Oh yeah, I sure did. It looked good. It looked
We
good.
we're like, man, it would be nice to be up on one of those.
That looked good.
And
That looked good. I don't want the small one. I want that one.
It's like he pointed to you, like, I want that one.
The biggest one you got. Like, that's the one I want right there. When you come out, you're like, oh yeah. When you see my face there for a good minute, like, nah, I'm not moving. Don't you swipe my face. I'm paying good money for that to stay there for like 50 seconds. This swipe.
Absolutely. So no, we're gonna be on billboards, but for right now, congratulations, Moon. Congratulations, Jenna, because y'all are famous. One of y'all has kind of accepted it. The other one, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. But like we said, we got all of that stuff out of the way here on the podcast. It's real. Now it's just the two of us, so there's really no point for a disclaimer. We only do that with guests because we got to make sure they know. We already know. So we're going to go ahead and get into it because it's definitely close enough. And this isn't going to be as long of a podcast as others because this is really the main thing that we're getting on this month. We're going to be talking a little Avatar. But before we get into this Netflix adaptation, I just want to talk about Avatar in general because, like I said, me and this son right here, we have actually never really talked Avatar before.
All right, where are you trying to go with this? Where are we going with this? What are we talking about? Where are we starting at?
I know you always told me about how much you love Avatar. So, but I've never really just took the time to just be like, hold on, the Drill Invoke Flashback Anime Verse.
Anime verse.
I was about to say, is that
the songs?
Are you trying to name our segment? Like,
you talking about the songs?
Do we have an official name?
Is that the songs we did? I remember we did the songs. I remember that. If you talking about that anime verses, I remember we did that. Yeah, I remember that one as an anime verses, but everything else I can't really think of.
Okay. Well, before we get into a full-on discussion, it's almost like I'm interviewing you at this point, sir, because, you know, you're the big Avatar fan. What is it about Avatar that you like so much? I know a lot of people say that that's like the closest thing to an anime that isn't an actual anime. And I get it. But I just want to hear from what you got to say, sir. Like your love for Avatar, The Next Airbender.
Well, my love from Avatar is, all right. Okay, I guess I can. Okay, I'll be that person.
Avatar and the Boondocks. See, the thing about Boondocks, real quick, is every other year, someone close to the show that created it will come out and say it is an anime, it's not an anime, it's inspired by anime. So at this point, we just call it whatever we want. But anyway, continue.
I'm gonna be that person in school. 2010. 2010 or 2000. No, what was that time? I was young because Avatar came out around then. Around 4 o'clock, Avatar comes on. Right after when Teen Titans comes on at 6 o'clock. Yeah, I'm being that guy. I had a TV schedule when it came to all of my favorite TV shows that definitely popped on. And I was that kid that always made sure that I come home to watch every episode if it was brand new coming on. So I made sure that. So I was that person that was that huge of a fan of Avatar. Like I was there when it was first introducing the saga. Not like years later and then waited and then start rewatching it. Nah, I was there when we was there at the time, and then I rewatched it to refresh my memory. But I was there. I was there. I was there when Aang ran away. I was there when Aang and Zuko had their moments. I was there. You feel me? With Sokka had his love with Shiko, I was there. When my man Sokka went to the Water Tribe village, the north, you know what I'm saying? Did a noble thing with homegirl. I was there. I was there. Before we even got to Toph. Before we even got to all of them. I was there. I was there each and every step of the way. Flashbacks, fighting scenes, still in demon face, you name it. I was there. I was there for it all. I was there for every single second of the action. And what Avatar really mean to me, I can really say Avatar was definitely one of the pinnacle not live action, but one of the great actions that we ever had in the Cartoon Network universe. Because we had a lot of action, because we had like the Danny Phantoms, we had like the Fairy Godparents, that was really good. We had like the Cow Chickens, the Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, we had the Kids Next Door, we had the Teen Titans, you feel me? I could keep going. But what I mean is by this is Avatar definitely had one of its own unique style, and then when you know it was not being like inspired by really not much by anybody else other show. You could tell it was legit Avatar when you see it, and especially with an introduction, because when you listen to that introduction, you know it's Avatar. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. When the show pops up and all you hear is Earth,
water,
like come on, like, it was just too good. Immediately, like it didn't even have like an intro like that. It was so short and simple. That's all it needed. It didn't need nothing. It was just didn't need that small segment to know Avatar was on. Avatar was definitely one of the great life lesson stories that a lot of people actually misplaced and misspoken on, because you had two, because it wasn't really more. I know it's like the stories about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but then they went to. I kind of like when they went to this direction when they did with Zuko, because Zuko had one of the biggest character developments in the entire story. Because
I got something to say about that, but go ahead.
Zuko is the biggest character development, guys. We talking about two things. We're talking about two people. One, it was his destiny to become an Avatar, but he refuses to be the Avatar. I don't want to be the Avatar. I ran away. Meanwhile, one was supposed to be destined from the throne. He wants it, but his father pushing it away to try to give it to somebody else. So it's kind of, you have like one being an outcast versus the other one running away for responsibilities. Like one want to accept their responsibility, but the other one left it. So you look at their two different stories of how each of them grow. You look and be like, oh my God, this is actually two separate roles. Like, holy shit. Because you actually got like, why did he feel this way about doing it? And you have Aang of like being peaceful, but why he felt this way about not wanting to be the Avatar and stuff like that. So it was so good, and it's so great to have two different sides of stories aspect, because you don't even have just one side. You always have another story, character side story as well, which they really did very well to portray it. So Avatar: Last Airbender mean a lot. 100% was on the definition of the pinnacle. Because people still trying to put that over SpongeBob, which is, it's just SpongeBob is making a hard comparison between the two. But I can understand why you put Avatar up there, because it's amazing.
I'll put it this way real quick. Anytime we have the Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon debate, the only thing they can ever really bring us truly is SpongeBob and Avatar.
That's what I'm saying, because they're both so iconic. They're super iconic. And we're not saying like the other shows are not iconic.
And we're not saying, because they also got the Fairly Odd Parents and the Danny Phantoms.
Right, but every time when you talk about them, the majority of people don't talk about Fairly Odd Parents and stuff like that, because you talk about Fairly Odd Parents and they be like, oh, they had Danny Phantom. It was like, it's great, but it wasn't that successful that people try to present. So it was just like, people just looked at the other candidates. Like, you have Jimmy Neutrons in them, but when they go and look at Icon and look at like what really truly inspired, what gives, because you have one as a story and the other one didn't really have like a multitask, not comedy like story. That's why you have SpongeBob over Fairy Odd Parents, because Timmy Turner didn't have a story. It was more of like a random daily life, especially like Jimmy Neutron, until they try to add some stories into the end of the season to graduate from college and stuff like that. Versus Fairly Odd Parents, they kept going and going, and then messed up in the end. Then they bring it back. Then you have SpongeBob. 1, 2, 3 is amazing, but money, we're not going to make it stop. We can keep this ball rolling. But Avatar just right. Beginning,
Avatar knew when to get in and get out.
yes. I told you,
There's
I
only
gave you
like
my
60
story.
episodes.
I told you exactly what you want. The animation style, you love it. The action, the cryiness, the meaningful, the backstory. Because y'all asked me questions about these characters. I give you each one. We're here. We're out. We're good. And that's what what makes Avatar up there.
And yes, because like I said, they only have like 60 episodes, something like that. Now, granted, a couple of them are like
It's
a
like,
couple
I
of them
feel
are like
like
an hour,
each
a couple
episode
of
of
them are like
chapters
an
like
hour
10,
long.
and then it'll be like next chapter, taking like another
Yeah,
season.
because but there's only 3 seasons, and I think it's like there's like 20 per season, something like that. But what I'm saying is they got in, they got out. I mean, don't get me wrong, they did Korra later. We're not here to talk about Korra tonight. But as far as like the Avatar story, they didn't let money just make them say, well, let's stretch this. It's like, no, we got a story to tell. We're gonna tell it, and we're done. We can make money up in reruns.
I mean, y'all did with Korra. Look how that went.
But Korra wasn't as successful as Avatar, obviously, but you still got your super diehard Korra fans out there. So that's what I said. But tonight ain't about Korra, but that is the thing. And the one thing that Avatar that keeps it longevity going is because it is so close to almost like a shonen type anime, to the point where it's not an anime, yet it has the stranglehold on the anime community. Because the only thing that makes it not an anime is just the fact that they didn't make it over there. There's no mangas about Avatar. There's like, none of this stuff. But as far as like everything else, it has all of those elements. If you're like a fan of like shonen, Viz and stuff like that, you're probably going to enjoy Avatar. But enough about that, because I don't think I've ever asked you this either. So who is your favorite character in Avatar? With radio silent. He's thinking.
I don't want to be basic.
Basic.
I don't want to be basic.
I mean, be basic. If whoever it is, if they're your favorite, they're your favorite.
Nah, it's not that. It's just like, because I had others, but I'm just really want to talk about. I will say. I'll say Zuko.
Okay.
I'll say Zuko. And the reason I say that is,
you went through a lot.
The reason I say that in the amount of you have to learn to love you hated your enemy for the wrong reason. And he had to learn that. He had to learn about the definition of being exiled from his own nation, of his own father, because of him showing compassion and kindness. In his father's eyes, that's a sign of weakness, because it's the Fire Nation. The Fire Nation basically just have this oppressive field of like, no matter what we say, you have to go, no emotion, no attachment, no nothing. Zuko was one of the people that he had to learn to like accept that there's all different routes of another ways to handle situations, because in the beginning, all we had nothing about Zuko was this rage, fury, aspects, life, drama. I need to get the Avatar. Restore my honor. Restore my clan. Restore my honor. That's all he had is going in his head mind every single time. But every single time he went after Aang, it became more frustrating for him, even though he saved him one time because of his own personal reasons.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it.
But he had his reasons.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like for Zuko, he has so many emotional detachments that he had to release from the world, that his uncle, shout out. That's why I love the uncle as well, because he is so wise and nice and kind. And when you learn his backstory of his family, it's so sad. But he basically was more of a father to him than his actual own father was. So it's like having a person who been there, had damn near the same experience, but lost something, and he looks at you like the same thing as like his own son. You don't really have that necessary, because, like I said, Zuko was exiled. No, he had no capacity. His own sister demised him. immediately. Demon, like Zord did not care about him at all. Like done finito. Like I worked hard for this. All right.
He wanted him dead at one point. It's like that's supposed to be your brother.
I don't care. I don't care. This Fire Nation, bro. This my
Mhm.
throne. You don't want to take it. This my seat. Father giving it to me. It's kill to be killed. And that's what made it so crazy. Like Zuko had to go through a lot of experience and then learn that teaching the Avatar firebending. He had to learn a lot. My man had to go to a mountain and literally sit down and learn self-thought about his own decision making of what he was. My man cut his bun away and grew his whole hair back.
Man,
That's a sacred transfer to him.
When he grew his whole hair back, though, man, I don't know if you've seen online these girls that sent for some Zuko.
But when they take it out though,
I'm just
but the
saying,
thing is,
when he grew that hair back, some of these fans out here were like, "Ooh, Zuko."
But what I mean by that though is when he had.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, battery problem. No, but when I that is when you look at Zuko talking and stuff like that, and his hairstyle, that is a clan. That is a symbol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a warrior outfit. So that's why I'm like, that's taking a lot. That's like basically telling a monk to take off his piece because that's part of it's a spiritual journey. A warrior piece is part of their outfit. So he taking that off is a big one step away from them. So for Zuko to even do that for himself, to let go of himself, because that is a symbol of a Fire Nation to him, says a lot about how much he had to literally look at his life and backstory. Like Zuko just been through so much, man. It was just too astonishing. It was just too good. Zuko is just too astonishing of a story of great character development. Like one of the biggest. I could actually make a debate that he's probably had one of the biggest character development in the entire show of what he had to do and go through.
Azula, my weak brother. Yeah, no, she did not like that Hazuzu at all.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing about Zuko though, man. It's like, and then you had that crossroad where it's almost like he technically went on 2 redemption arcs because he was upset. Like, there's not as many people in like cartoons, period, that was obsessed with getting somebody as Zuko was and trying to get this freaking Avatar.
Your clan, your honor. For 3 years, your honor.
That wasn't his main goal. That was his only goal.
That's all he had. When your father comes and you say you are exiled after you lost the battle and all that stuff.
Do this. And by the way, this is all with his father basically thinking, man, the Avatar ain't out there. He ain't never coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ozai really did that to just get rid of him forever, but it's like, catch the Avatar, then we'll let you back. And he's really like, man, that Avatar ain't out there.
Right.
So he was literally just trying to banish him for life without saying you're banished for life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, put you on this crazed quest that's going to leave you crazy for the rest of your life. But then on the off chance that the Avatar is still out there, you better get it done. You know, but what I say about like he had to go on 2 different arcs because at one point, you know, between him and Iroh, especially when they were on the run, when they were refugees, you know, they finally did in Bazaz, and you know, it was settling down, and you know, Iroh had the tea shop, and he was finally like, I'm good. You know, it's like, all right, Zuko's in there. You know, and he has the moment with Katara when they both get kidnapped, and you know, and he's sitting there telling his story, and it's like, man, Zuko's gonna do it, man. He done finally realized the error of his ways, and then freaking Azula comes through and it's like, oh yeah, Dad said you're good, you're coming back, you got to be with me, and now all of a sudden he was right there, and then all of a sudden we're right back to square one. We were right there. He went through all this character development. Azula came through and ripped all that out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, good news. Father wants you home. All he does? Oh, well, screw all that stuff I've been talking about. Screw this redemption crap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, come here, Avatar. So then he had to go through, after he realized that was BS, then he had to go through a redemption again. Only this time, now you gonna try to walk your butt up in there talking about them, I want to join y'all clan. Of course they gonna be like, you want to what now? Same dude that...
Nah, Sokka had the best expression out of them all. Are you kidding me? What? We're talking about the same man who been chasing us on the boat for multiple cities and countries, trolling us with fires. Hey, what are you doing?
Burned villages. Screwed over Katara.
Oh
she
yeah.
truly thought this man had changed.
Yeah.
She was about to heal the man's scar. That's why she was hurt. That's why even though he came in, she's like, you know what? They might all be cool with this. I said okay because you know what? Whatever Aang wants, fine. I'm telling your ass right now. I don't like you. If you get out of line even a little bit, that's your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even be mad at her for it because I mean, the man literally did like chase them, then redeemed himself, and then betrayed them. And now you talking about coming through again. And then you admitted to them folks that you sent a bounty hunter after him in the middle of your apology?
Yep.
Like he said, he's like, man, I probably shouldn't have told him that part.
If he didn't, then they would be like, who caused it? Then Zuko didn't be the extra. Nah, let it all out.
She said he should have blamed it on his sister. He said, I should have said Azula sent that bounty hunter. They would have believed that.
Nah, he's probably been look crazy.
But like this man, he just but when he got in, he was like, but when he was there. So he did have the biggest character development. I mean, who else really had any character development on that show? I mean, I guess Sokka with the whole woman thing, but that got wrapped up pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once he came across Suki and she humbled his ass, that was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Zuko definitely has the biggest development. Everybody else was kind of where they were through the entire time. You know, so yeah, I can get why you would say it would be Zuko for me. I'm like you, man. I'm like, I don't know who I would say my favorite because, like I said, yes, Zuko's there with the character development. I mean, who doesn't like Iroh? Like, there's a reason Iroh gets a whole lot of fan development. Yeah, man, because the man is just so wise. The man gives all the excuse. The man, like you said, the man went through a lot. The man, what was it? How many days did they say he was out there battling? 600 days, I think. Lost his son, and he went home.
Yeah, I don't remember the days.
I think it was 600, and then it was like, and then he went home after he lost his
That's
son.
a year. I think that's 2 years, or no, a year and almost in a couple of months.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years in there.
And only came home because he lost his son. Which, I mean, you lose your son, that's going to dramatize you. Only for you to come back and your tribe call you a coward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this old man is grieving, and y'all calling this man a coward. It's war. What are you doing?
They don't care. That's what happens after Fire Nation came out. They just wiped out everything. There's no compassion.
That's why Ozai was like, and he's supposed to be the next Fire Lord? This coward? No, Dad, it's got to be me.
And he had all the right. He had all the better arsenal of skills. It just
he told him, "You want me to go against my firstborn? Like really?" And he's like, "I'm not doing that." Of course, Ozai was like, "Okay, yeah, I got your ass."
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he mysteriously died in the night and left him the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's why I said like that man. It was the true definition of a savage. He was a savage of every single output of one.
Father like daughter.
Mm-hmm. I felt bad for daughter. Though.
No redemption in Azula. None.
I'm gonna stop. Okay, before we ain't talking about the Netflix because I got a lot to say about that.
None. That woman was pure evil all the way down to the moment she was captured.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, she was screaming in rage. Like that. There's some people that's just no redeeming them.
She was like that in the Legend of Korra. When you saw her again, she was still bitter and evil.
Bitter and evil.
I said, damn, this bitch still didn't change why she old. Damn, man, she ugly. Terrible.
Like,
you were terrible, baby.
Ozai, you've lost. And whooped his ass when that Avatar state came in. Now you know you can't beat me. You might as well give up. Yeah, nah, I ain't doing that, bro. Fire Love State, Fire Nation forever. Like,
give me your baby.
You can't firebend anymore, bitch.
Told you. That's like a gamer now. All right, so I die, bro. Right? I mean, now, blood till I die, man. Like, oh, okay. All right. In real life, is a reverse card. Ain't no business still taking away. It's the soul flying away. But nah,
my favorite character in Avatar was Wan Xing-tong, the owl that can shapeshift to anything.
Yes. Yes, in the spirit world, absolutely. That was really good. He was a good character to have, showing Aang the wisdom and the routes where he needed to go. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Absolutely.
Really good one. And I mean, and this is not me saying, because we're talking
Oh
about favorite.
shit!
This is not me saying that I don't like, like Aang and all of them, but
Shout out to Toph. Forgot.
Toph.
God, shout out to Toph. The fuck
Oh.
are we talking about here? Let me put some name. Let me put some spice on it. We're talking about a girl who invented a new
Metal
bending.
bending.
She invented new bending. My girl invented metal, bro. Like what? She's like, hold on, let me just. I gotta learn. I just gotta learn.
Like, wait a minute.
Everybody.
At the end of the day, wait, metal is just a form of earth. Oh yeah, I got this.
Man, but what makes her have a better advantage than everybody is because she was handicapped with her blind spot. Everybody see with her eyes, she has to feel.
She sees with her
What
feet.
makes it. That's how she invented her own freaking her own bending skill.
Yeah, she sees with her feet. That's why she never liked it when she wasn't walking on ground. Like when they were like, not on ground, she's like, I can't see anything. I need to get back to some ground. That's why she hated being in the sand, because it was like technically it's ground, but it's sand, it's thin. And she's like, I can't really see that well out here. Get me to a freaking rock so I can see.
And her backstory was so sweet. But it was a sweet, humble thing. Just a blind girl basically just want to have fun with life, but at the same time they just treating her like too sweet. Like she can't really handle her own self and all that
They
good
thought
stuff.
she was weak, bro. They thought she was so weak.
Man, when she went to that wrestling ring, she was just like, y'all think I'm okay, all right. How about me? How about you do something to me right now?
They literally sitting there when she gets captured. Their parents are literally like, Toph is probably so scared right now. She's so weak. She said, hey, better let me up out of here before I wipe that grin off your face.
Man!
I'm not grinning.
What about Toph? And I love about Toph is they be trying to make jokes about Toph. They're like, Toph, come on! I'm blind. Like I'm still blind. Like I know I can still.
Yeah, she's capable of doing some things. She can pour on drinks. But there are certain things you do need to see for her. Like when she's sitting there, like, don't act like I can't put a flyer up on the wall. Bam, upside down. It's not upright, is it?
Bruh, it was so funny. Like Toph was super important.
She was so happy to find out that big strong dude was playing her in that play.
Mm-hmm. She said, "Oh yeah, macho." Like Toph was a really great character in the thing, especially like I said, especially invented a new bending. The backstory of her was great. Learning about the aspect of basically her fighting capabilities, because I was very interested in every fighting thing that she had to do, and the smart sarcasm of every joke that she had to throw.
She's the sarcastic one of the show. So
she's gonna throw him out there. She's gonna throw him out there.
That's what I'm saying. You had that dynamic. Toph was the sarcastic one. Sokka cracked all the jokes. Katara was basically a mother. And then you had Aang.
Katara was cool, but she was annoying at the same time to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I mean, she was that mother figure, so of course she got annoying from time to time. Somebody had to keep them in line out there. You would think it would be Sokka, considering that he has that leadership experience, but no, she was the one that's like, I'm little sister, but I'm trying to tell Big Brother what to do. Which wasn't like that before she left her village. She left the village, and all of a sudden, the dynamic between them shifted. And I don't know a lot of people really paid attention to that when that first started. Because when you first introduced to them, you could clearly tell Sokka was in charge.
Because when Dad was there, he was basically like, I'm in charge when Dad left. And I took that role.
Right. And she had to listen to him. But as soon as they left that village, she just started slowly just started becoming in charge of him.
I mean, they had an argument. Yeah.
They had
a big argument. So
but that didn't change the fact
I was like, oh shit.
It didn't change the fact that she was acting like everybody's mom. Like, Lord knows, freaking Toph didn't like that shit.
Oh yeah. I can take it. Like, it's bad enough. Like, you feel me? She already is bad. She has a mom at home that's already treating her like that now. Like, why are you talking to me like that now? Like, bitch, move. Like, I get it, Toph. Like, if I was in Toph lifestyle, like, I could take care of myself. Thank you. But if I ask for you, I'll ask. Okay? Like, mom, like, let him have fun a little bit. Like, you always cuddle him up to it. Let him have fun. How can he explore?
Right. Well, I mean, but they all had their red flags. Aang had his freaking red flag moments. It's just like
Aang was just too trusting and having fun with everybody. That was about it with Aang.
I'm just talking about like like some of the times he got angry with them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like sometimes he played too much. He didn't always listen. That's why he accidentally burned Katara. It's like, dude, calm down. Oh no, I just learned firebending 2 seconds ago. Now I think I'm just the man. And then you go and burn your friend. And now all of a sudden you're just discouraged. I'm never gonna do this again off of one mistake. Like I get it because that man loved that girl from day one.
I
My
know,
man,
right? Which
my
we're going to get into
man
something that is very quarreling in Netflix, but we'll talk about that later.
exactly. My man literally had to go learn how to be in this avatar state. It's like, oh, get rid of guilt. Okay, I can do that. Get rid of fear. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Get rid of grief. Oh yeah, I can do that. Get rid of Qatar. No,
Mm-hmm.
I get rid of everything else. But nah. I love that girl.
You know how that works. Okay, I love that girl or my friend. I can't get rid of my friends. You know how that works.
Please, he probably got rid of them others. You see, he wasn't talking about because it was talking about getting rid of things you care about. You see, freaking Sokka didn't pop up in his vision. Toph didn't pop up in his vision. It was strictly Katara. That's all he was worried about, and he would rather not be in a position to be able to save the world if it meant that that he wasn't gonna love that girl. And it's just like, but we've talked about it. Like you said, we'll talk about it when we get to the Netflix stuff. But who would you say you don't like in Avatar? A character you're not a fan of?
Those are rare.
Rare, really?
Avatar don't really have. I mean, you do have that commander in the Fireland with basically being a snake. You had Commander Zhao, obviously, he was being a snake. That's why you have him. But he was like whatever.
The Fire Nation. That's what they do. They turn on each other.
You know what I'm saying? Like and that's why I say it's really nothing you really can hate in over there because it's just more of like you look over there, Ozai, you could be like, obviously you could go to the top one and be like, Philo Ozai, obviously. But obviously you have other ones too because you the blood bending witch, what she was doing was going crazy. But when I was looking at it, it was like
Katara bloodbending. She might not like it, but you know what? You should be thankful. But go ahead.
I feel like it's just like every single villain I kind of really see in Avatar. I never really had that necessarily like I don't like you. You never really give me like I don't like you. You just gave me a common aspect of a villain. It wasn't like if I watched like Tokyo Ghoul and not Tokyo Revenge and I see all the shit that Kisagi did, but like I don't like this fucking guy. Only one I like Jujutsu Kaisen like a mind but like I really don't fucking like him. Like he's doing a lot of annoying shit. Yeah, I didn't really get that from Avatar. I didn't really just have that character that was just super annoying to me. It just gave me like the basic one-on-one villain that I see in the cartoons that I'm used to seeing.
Right. And we're not just talking about villains, because there's a lot of people out there who are big Avatar fans where I brought up the name Katara and they just kind of go, huh? That's not it's not obviously the Sakura levels, but there's quite a bit of Katara hate out there.
I hear him. I hear him. But for me, just thinking, like I don't have that. I never had a character that I was just like I understand. We're good. I think they're safe. That's it.
I don't know if there's a character that I just hate, but there's a character that I'm just like, yeah, well, whatever that. Like I said, everybody's gonna have theirs, and I'm a big fan of bad guys. You know what I'm saying? So when you got like the Azulas and them out there, it's like, hey man, she's crazy. You know what? She was the big boss out here. But then when I started looking at her girls, Tali was cool. She had all that energy. You know what I'm saying? For whatever it's worth. And of course her backstory, which again we'll talk when we get to the Netflix adaptation. But Tali, she had all that. Of course, a lot of people love Tali because of how perky she is, and that's why I see all the Tali cosplays. In fact, I've seen quite a few of those on my timeline this week because this Netflix thing was coming out. You know what I'm saying? But then we get to May, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. And I mean, I get that like her character is just that she has no emotion. like at all. And I also get that they had to have the episode where they were all sitting around the fire, and if she finally sort of reveals, or they
Why she
figure
has no
out
emotion.
why she has no emotion. But that doesn't change the fact that for me as a character, she walks around with no emotion. She doesn't really do much with the fights. Like, for me, you could almost remove May from this show and you don't miss anything.
I agree. I can see why. I can see why.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was just like, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of her character. I don't think she really adds anything to the show. You know, then that's just me. I just feel like you can remove her and it's okay.
Listen, I never really just, like I said, I just never really just had a character I hate or a villain on there. I was just like,
You know, I guess it's really
yeah.
more like, I guess
Can't
writers
think.
I felt like they could have done more with May, but they didn't. And, you know, at least with Talib, the only reason I don't say they could have done more with Talib because at least Talib did it, you know, showcase a few times shutting down people's bending temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she had her hand in kidnapping people, which, by the way, how many freaking times did Aang get kidnapped in that cartoon? Because I'm sitting in my head, and it's probably more times than he probably should have.
Oh, damn. I can't give you a number. I can't give you a number. I can't give you a number. I'll revisit that number later. I'll revisit that question later.
They revisit that question later because I know I got a couple just on my mind right now. I won't give you the first one because technically he wasn't kidnapped; he turned himself in. But you know, it's like dang, that it seemed like every time they went to a new island, somebody captured them, even if it was just for a second. You know, obviously Zhao had him captured. You know, they had to break him out. You know, he got captured with Ty Lee when they were both in the things. Like he was like he got captured a few times for him to be the freaking Avatar.
Mm-hmm. But then when you really look at it, most of the time he always been captured. It was just always him trying to like talk to them and trying to have some mannerism or piece of why they having their attitude. Like he's always trying to do, like I know Naruto didn't know talking no Jutsu way before Aang, but that's kind of like what Aang was doing with most of his enemies. He always want to like talk instead of just really just showing their actions with his
anything out until you steal his bison.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't touch my bison. I agree. That's my whip. That's like a man's whip and his best friend too.
He was willing to talk anything
and
out.
That's the only thing that's been. He's probably like what, like, and he was like the only one that's been around, one of the rarest breeds ever. And that no.
Everything else, it was I don't want to kill. I want to talk this out. It's my job to bring peace. Let me see if I can fix this thing. You know what I'm saying? Dude took this man's bison. First of all, the man just jumped all over Toph. It's your fault he gone. If Toph didn't hold that thing up, y'all were going to be trapped for life.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to explain that to that. I was busy saving y'all life. Making sure y'all don't sink. Nah, you could have jumped in after us. You never liked Appa anyway. It's like, damn, man. Like, I know you upset, but bruh.
That's his day one, bro. That's his day one. That's his day one.
And then he caught up to them sad dudes, and that man, he was tearing all they shit up. Boom! Where's my bison?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, wasn't no peace then.
Nah. That's his best friend and whip. Like I said, you don't take his whip, not his best friend. Like I said, in real life, if a man had a freaking Lamborghini and you walk up and you just didn't take that shit, oh yeah.
Demon time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's how Aang look at them, and the only difference of these two, because I'm returning material over a life. One is literally hundreds of years old, and one of the last of his kind, and the only thing Aang has left that he has that existed at that time. Oh no, I'll be pissed too. I'll be hot too.
And I mean, it's not like, because, you know, he still is, even though they're their own people, he still is the descendant of all those other avatars. So, you know, there's a little of all of them inside of him. And, you know, and for the most part, when you think about Avatar Roku and all of them, you know, they were the same way. They wanted to keep peace and stuff like that. But then you also had Avatar Kyoshi that was kind of like, man, I'd kill him again.
Oh no, we gonna get into that in a minute. I got a lot to say about that. I got a lot to say about that. We'll get into that.
Yoshi was not like the other past Avatar.
We are going to get into that. We are going to get into that. I got so much shit today. I got so much shit I want to say.
I know you probably have a lot you want to say.
I got notes for days. They're not all bad, but we got some good ones though.
Got some good ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
By the way, we okay. I was about to shout out. She jumped out on us. Baylet slid in for a second. Got in and got stepping. She ain't in here anymore.
Bye, Mama Baylet. Bayriz on the chat.
You'll be back.
Girl, drop it to the floor. I love the way your booty goes.
But you know what, sir? Screw it. I got a lot more I can say about the original cartoon, but we'll weave it in with the movie. So let's get into it. Like I said, tonight isn't going to be as long as other podcasts. So let's go ahead. Let me move this down.
Okay.
Talk about this Netflix show.
Talk about the Netflix?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into it then. Well,
I already know one of the things.
I got my notes.
You were about 6 minutes in, and you were already upset about one particular thing.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I got my notes. And that's the first thing that's on here. Chapter 1 Aang of the Netflix Avatar Airbender thing. They messed up, and my intro is 6 minutes and 19 seconds. I uproar about that scene.
To the second he knows.
6 minutes and 19 seconds, people. I was uproar. I was hot.
And why were you hot, sir?
I was. For y'all to really know what I'm talking about, they done the intro of Avatar. And when the first thing you get into, you know the intro. We hear the fire, earth, wind, and all this stuff. I'll let them take away the characters. I don't care. It's an Avatar Lab adaptations. You can do whatever you want. But when you do not put in Aang can save the world, I am going to snap. And they didn't do that.
I get why they didn't do it, because if you look at the beginning, they were trying to do it from the perspective of where they were in the story at that point. And obviously at that point, they hadn't even met Aang yet. That's why they didn't do it. But I know.
You're not getting them. They're not getting the pass to this. I'm not.
In fact, she didn't even do like the true intro. Gram did. When they went inside, he gave the actual intro word for word.
That's why I'm saying, like,
lost you again, sir.
it's my battery. No, but like I said, excuse me. No, it's hard for me to really let them get that pass, because that's really one of the most known things that the people were ever known, and then it's one of the most fan base of one of the quotes. It's like basically saying Yusuke without saying Spirit Gun. What are we doing?
They said it once.
Exactly, but they did it all the way to the end. To the end, though. But the fact of you holding anticipated you done that, okay, whatever, cool. So if season 2 comes around, they got a chance. They got a chance of redeeming this. Season 2 got to come back around.
Bonjour, Jafar.
When season two come around, they got a chance to redeem themselves for me. They can always bring this back. When we get back to the next season, and they do the previously on Avatar.
Well, now they could do it, because
if we get that, and or you give me the Aang can save the world, I will be happy either way. But my feelings was hurt when you didn't do the Aang can save the world. I was very upset that shit. I let y'all took away my freaking bending line. The more you can lose, give me that line. That's really you can at least give me that. Just the small things matter to me. The small things matter. Small things matter. It don't have to be big like the fighting scenes y'all so adorably on. No. The small thing matter to a fan, and that's one of the film. 2. This is actually a good thing. I love that we actually got death scenes in here. Excuse my language.
We're fine.
I love it. I love how serious we got in it. We got so serious. In the beginning of the first chapter 1 of Aang, we got so serious. I love it. They did not hesitate. 0 point in the beginning seconds of the damn thing. We got to the earth, running away from the fire, because the earth and the fire are the biggest, largest thing that really are still stopping around that time. And then we have that whole introduction. And then we just saw this fire is on his first appearance. And just saw this man just get melted like crispy bacon. I loved it. I loved every second. Why are you doing this? I gotta explain to you about why I'm doing this. Like, talking about. I gotta even tell you why. Like, he was just talking and still didn't tell him why. I'm just like, yeah, sounds about right.
What do I need you for? It's none of your damn business.
Yeah. So good job. Good job. Okay.
Look, I gotta stay on the death side real quick, and I gotta piggyback off of that one real quick.
No, you're good.
Because they did a couple of times. There's a couple of times that the death scenes really came through. One of the times I was like, I know that they're adding death scenes because they can do that because this is a live action, it's Netflix, but I'm like, I gotta remember that this is still technically Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon's name's still on this. But man, when they did that flashback in Katara's village and they actually showed the attack, and you know, and I was sitting there like, it's one thing where we saw in the cartoon where they talked about and they did the backstory about how their mother died. And who did it. In fact, you know, her and Zuko actually went out and tracked the man down, you know, who did it. But that's just it. They talked about it. They showed up to the point. Nah, here. Boom. I'm like, oh, so we showing this now.
Told you when I said it, I said, oh yeah, we serious. There's some jokiness in there. Part of that.
It's still, well, there's a difference between lightheartedness and silliness. It's lighthearted, but I wouldn't say that they're in there just doing like jokey jokes. You know what I'm saying? You know, because at the same time, this is still like something that's being taken seriously. But no, there's that, and then they actually showed the raid on Aang's village, and they started showing them get murked. And for like a quick second, I was like, it's Nickelodeon. It's Nickelodeon, so I know they're not gonna do it. But they had me for a second when they went down at the end. And all them kids was over there in the corner. I'm like, y'all better not. Y'all better not. I know it happens because I know everybody goes, but you better not throw any fire. You better not do it. Don't you do not show that to us. And they didn't. And I was
I was ready. Bro.
They were cowering in the corner, and you know in your mind it's like, these little bitty kids are cowering in the corner, and we know what happens.
Man, we know what happens. Fam, we got Attack on Titan. I'm used to this now. It's over. It's over for that. And
Attack on Titan showed the aftermath, showed the mushed body. I was like, man, Attack on Titan was different. But that's what I'm saying. But that doesn't have a Nickelodeon logo on it though. This has a Nickelodeon logo still on it. I was like, they're not gonna show these kids. They'll show everybody else, but they're not gonna do it. They didn't. I was like, okay.
Please. Oh God. Please. Thank you. No, I loved it. Like I said, when they showed the seriousness of this, I loved it. I do not hate the seriousness they took. Like, they took the seriousness to a bar. Like, up there. Like, when they went to the village, they saw, like, when they threw the fire, and you see the burning spots of his friends. They told the girl done a twist the moon, and you saw her get burned in the crisp by putting fire in a tornado. Like, no.
They're not messing around. They're not messing around.
No. I'm gonna show you this time. Because in the cartoon, it was just cute. No. This real life. I'm gonna show you some crispiness.
But I think because of that Nickelodeon logo, they still had like this rule of we're not going to show it with kids, which is why it was always adults that we saw it happen to, which is why they cut away before, you know, all of the kids in Aang's village got taken out, which is why when Ozai was doing the flame down on Zuko's eye, they pulled away before him because he's a kid. You know, I was like, I think they had this strict thing. We can't show this happening to kids. Everybody else is free game though.
Mm-hmm. Nick,
flaming people to death.
Another thing about chapter 1 that got me, they took, I don't know you know this, but I definitely know this. They took away Aang's purpose of him basically running away. If y'all didn't pay attention to that. Because in the beginning of the story, Aang didn't try to come back. He just literally ran away. I'm not finna have no intentions to even bother to even come back to my village because I don't want the responsibilities. I don't care what y'all telling me. Y'all want too much responsibility from me. I'm gone. I'm not coming back. And then Dad hit him into the ocean.
Well, what they added was the difference was he ran away the first time and then he got caught in the storm.
Right.
In the action, he ran away since that something bad was happening and he tried to go back. It wasn't like he just changed his mind like, wait,
right.
I should
But
run.
the whole thing about that though is Aang's in the whole story, they're like, Aang, I ran away, but you just disappeared, you disappeared for but you did run away. It was like, yeah, but he did try to come back, so y'all didn't really necessarily know.
But they don't know
because
that.
when he talked to when he talked to his teacher, his mentor, his friend, he was like, Aang, even if you was here, if you did came back, you would not be able to done anything. You would have been gone with the rest of us. So that's why I was like, okay, so y'all kind of took that away of what the whole thing of what Aang purpose was.
Avatar. Yeah.
You took that away. I paid attention. I peeped.
Right. The fact that you brought him back, period. And, just to kind of give him that thing, it's like, aren't we supposed to have established that he already had to accept the fact that he was gone?
His spirit,
now you
brought him back. Spirit. I was like,
and make sure to put it in there to be like, no, this isn't a vision. I'm really here. And it's like, okay, now you just kind of, I felt that way too. It's like, now you just kind of stepped all over this. And now you're kind of justifying, no, it's okay. It's okay. And I mean, I get in the cartoon, you had Katara, trying to let him know. It's like, I kind of feel like it happened this way for a reason. It was meant to happen like this. But it's one thing for her to say that, and then for who wasn't there, who's just thinking, destiny, things happen for a reason. That's how you make people feel better. Things are falling into place. Then to have somebody you thought was gone is now back in your face saying, nah, it's okay. You wouldn't have been able to change anything.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, you kind of took away the whole depth of what his whole purpose would be in the Avatar was, because he ran away from his responsibilities. But then he was like, oh yeah, you came back, so you sensed him coming back, so you know he was going to come back. Wait, what? No, that kind of got choppy. That got choppy for me. When I was like,
it's a scene that was unnecessary.
You took away the purpose of why Aang is Aang. But whatever. It's what y'all did.
So if anything, it eased his guilt a little bit, and a big part of his arc was how guilty he felt that he wasn't there for 100 years. Lord knows half the villages he went through made sure to let him know, you abandoned us.
That's what I'm saying. So, and then when he met with the avatars, and then you got that talk. Like, yeah, we was the reason they got you frozen, but homeboy, you should have done what you did. Like each one of them had that sit down talk. Well, some was nice, some was just not going for it.
So technically, it did need to happen that way, because it's not like it's not true. Because Aang had not learned all of his bendings yet. So yes, even in the cartoon, had Aang not ran away, he would have been taken out with the rest of them.
Yeah,
he was not ready. But for y'all to put it on the nose, like you did a good job just with Katara just saying, look, it's destiny. Things like this, you had to get trapped. It had to happen this way. But for you to just be like, he basically was saying what Katara said, but they gave him a whole scene and lessened the blow by actually bringing his friend back for a second.
Yeah. And I was like, nah. You took that away. Another thing, Zuko and Uncle was a really good casting. I enjoyed Zuko and Uncle. Yes. I literally did. Because that was one of the few things I was kind of concerned with. Because I was like, okay, any girl could be a pretty girl, can be everybody else. But Zuko, you gotta have that face, that shape, the scar. Like, you gotta have that particular character. Like, you gotta have the face and everything. Like, you gotta cast the right guy to do it. It did. And I enjoyed it. They did great. The Uncle art was great. Zuko casting, it was really good. Some of the writing was very cliche. There was some cliche writing going on in there.
Of course.
And some writing I definitely called out when I knew it was coming, and I was like, okay, if I can name that line was coming, y'all gotta write better, bro.
I mean, sometimes cliches work, but give us some examples.
Well, it was a line that basically they're on the show when basically Uncle was walking around talking about like, hey yo, why are you sitting here walking around the village? I said, because he's eating about this rare thing. He was like, yeah, because I'm eating about this rare food. I said, oh yeah, okay. I knew that was coming. But I just feel like some things that you kind of knew, if you know some things that's coming, don't be too much about it. Some are cool, but we had a little bit too much in this. So I feel like we should tone the clichéness down just a tiny bit, not too much, but just a little bit. I'm done with the chapter 1. Chapter 2.
Okay, well let me slide into chapter 1 real quick before you move
on. Go for chapter 1. Go for it.
That way we can just be done with chapter 1. I do like the fact, because again, this is a different show, so they format it differently. When Avatar, everything all right? Okay, well he stepped away for a second. For anybody to get gotcha. Yeah, because that thing's already kind of beeped at you a few times. I do like the fact that instead of them just kind of, because a lot of people that's going to watch Avatar has probably watched Avatar. So I do like, instead of just diving right into them, finding Aang, they did kind of start with, the village getting attacked and Aang leaving. Like, so I thought all of that stuff was good to start with, because you kind of get to get some of that backstory out the way before we even get to the whole, Katara and Sokka finding Aang. Now, obviously, there's going to be changes. I just want to know how you felt about the change of how Aang was when he was there at his home.
Okay.
Because,
how I feel about what?
Aang, when he was there at his home, when they had, before the village got attacked, they still did the same thing about how the Avatar should be training and all of that. But, in the cartoon, it was, Aang was just this nice, lovable kid. He was out there playing with his friends. And then the second they find out he's the Avatar, don't nobody want to play with him anymore. They didn't display it that way this time.
Well, they kind of did it in a different
way.
They just did it more of like, he was so powerful, his power was just so big that he accidentally injured or scared most of his peers when it came to Avatar. And they didn't really display him as they didn't display him as a scary guy. They was just more of like, hey, Aang is just this very likable, popular guy there, and we like him, but he's the Avatar. We need to throw him in the training, like, no matter what. Like, he was just a likable person. His power was just too big.
And his friends all of a sudden just didn't want to play with him anymore, because they're like, now that you're the Avatar, it's going to be unfair if you play with us. So, yeah. Now you basically got no friends. And that's
he said he had a couple. He said an airbender, because here's the thing about that Aang. This Aang said he had a couple of friends that he really endured, because when I looked at the flashback and stuff like that, it was like, I wasn't really like mad about the way how they did with it, but it was still kind of like one of those one of the different output of how they was doing, because it wasn't like it was a critical being of that. It was just basically just one of those things that just how can we just start at this base so we can start at like a different way of this aspect. But when it came to Aang in this story, it wasn't too much of a botherment to me personally.
And that's why I said, I was just asking how you felt about it, because again, there's going to be changes. There's going to be
no. One of the biggest changes I recognize is, and I know I didn't want to talk about this yet because I realized that it wasn't. I didn't put it besides chapter 1. It was one of my end resolutions, but I'm gonna bring this out early. Have y'all noticed the love interest of Aang Katara
is not there.
Small this time? So small, like it's
almost non-existent.
It's I enjoy it. I kind of did. Because in the beginning, we got to see Aang had his blush, how much he liked Katara, all this stuff in the beginning and stuff, him blushing and them two having their little likable moments, and then she liked this other guy, and then Aang was jealous, and then did all this extra stuff.
You could tell they liked each other, but they didn't know it themselves.
You know what I'm saying? But Aang still showed some jealousy though in the cartoon when we went to the Earth. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was like, I'm not mad. They cut a lot of some things out. I was like, there's a lot of love interest they definitely cut out. I noticed that. I'm like, okay.
Not Sokka stuff, but we'll get to that.
No. I think Sokka's is important because they play along with the story in the end. Those two girls important. They important.
I mean, in a way, Aang and Katara does too, but just the fact that, like you said, they're not really displaying that they like each other. I mean, obviously they're friends, but they're not really displaying like, you didn't get when when Chet was, you know, flirting with him in the live action. You didn't get jealous Aang or any of that. You didn't
No.
get any.
No, you only had Sokka just looking at the brother was like,
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'm not mad that they took this out because again, when you're dealing with a live action, let's call it what it is. There's a lot of things even in the cartoon which we love the episodes, but there will be parts of episodes that if you were going to redo them, you could pull these out and miss nothing.
mhm.
So you know, it's like so we know they're going to condense some things. So it's like when they went to Kyoshi, and, you know, in the cartoon they did that thing where all the girls were basically enamored with freaking Aang and was following them everywhere, and it just pissed Katara off. You know, they didn't display that, and I'm like, that's good because it's really pointless to do that in the live action. But you know, but that was yet another moment where Katara had her jealous moments. You know, but in the Netflix, the most you got was Aang did a trick, and the villagers were impressed. You didn't get the whole they started following him everywhere until they got bored with him. Because then after a while, he was like, "Hey, look what I can do," and the girls was like, "Really, that trick again?"
Mm-hmm.
That's not. Yeah, we're bored with this. I'm out.
That's what I'm saying. I shout out to the love interest. They toned that down a lot. Like I said,
all the way down.
that's like this is seriousness. That's what I'm saying. We got serious. This is this is your lesson. This is your life. We're right here. We're here with that.
In fact,
that's why I was like, okay, I like the seriousness.
I guess I kind of touch on it now, you know, because you know, as they did with Yu Yu Hakusho and even like they did with One Piece, they merged a lot of the chapters, you know, in the Netflix adaptation, where you know it was like things that took place in individual episodes in the cartoon. You had like 3 different storylines happening in one episode.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, you had Aang over here dealing with Boomy, you know, his old friend. And instead of it just being him and the rest of them, then you had the other episode where they were stuck under the cave, where, you know, of love and all of that. So now you don't even get that moment of them talking about whether they should kiss or not, you know, and guitar, because in the Netflix version, that's all gone because Aang never goes down there. He never even goes in the tunnel because he's too busy doing the thing with Boomy.
Yeah.
Which the cartoon is a completely different episode. So they merged a bunch of episodes together, a bunch of storylines together in like a couple of episodes. Because I'm like, they basically did like 4 episodes of storylines in one episode on the Netflix. And I'm not even saying I'm necessarily mad about it. I'm just saying you could tell that they did that. But what that did was that took them away from other spots, you know. So now you didn't have, again, with them trying to get out of the cave, you didn't have Aang and Katara down there with the whole maybe we should kiss to be able to get out of here. You didn't, or on the flip side, when he's up there doing the challenges with Boomy, you didn't have him threatening his friends, so you got to take these challenges because they weren't there. You know, so there was a lot of differences in there, but yeah, but that was just, I brought that up because that was just yet another spot where Aang and Katara had their moment that wasn't there. It just basically didn't exist.
Did not exist. Chapter 2. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Chapter 2 was kind of one of my favorites. Because, baby, there's some things I like that I was like, okay, y'all kind of cooking. You kind of cooking in this chapter 2. Look, chapter 2. Avatar Kyoshi was a different level when I seen her. What? Can we talk about it real quick? Why is she so angry at Aang when he didn't technically ran away from his responsibility? Because that's what I said. That's why I brought that up in the beginning. I said, technically he didn't because they had his guilt, but that was the whole purpose, but they took that whole purpose away. Now you got Avatar Kyoshi. Aang's asking, what does it take to be an avatar? Well, you got to be a warrior. You got to be merciless. You got to make sure you got to stand on 10 toes and do sure you do the impossible because you're the avatar. He was like, but what if you want to have friends? Friends are the meaningless. They get in your way. I'm like,
Man, look, I was ready for Avatar Kyoshi to say he needs to stand on business.
I said, hold on. Because I said, wait, you were so sweet. Because you know her backstory. She was like Aang. She was a sweet, regular girl who was in a high class, and she was just randomized being an avatar. So she built a warrior base where women can become very strong in their national. And
that still didn't mean she had a problem with killing people, though, even in the cartoon. So.
Oh no, that's what I said. But they made her angry. That's why I said she had that word of why I said and I'm about to quote, and it gave me chills. When Aang said, "What does it take to be an avatar?" I'm going to quote this again. She said, "Being a mighty, merciless warrior that shows no empathy to anybody." I said, oh my God! Oh my God! And how she did it too, she had her fans out, she had her hands behind her back and looking down on them in the forest like, what took you so long to get here? First thing that came out of her mouth. What took you so long to get here? I didn't know how to reach the spirit world. I'm just saying. Well, it took you long enough. Because any longer, you probably would be dead. I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she so angry? Like in the other Avatar, she shows sweet sympathy, but she has some ultimate warrior words. This one, nah. I don't care about none of that. No, you've been gone for 100 of years. Where the fuck you been? That was her.
And let's not forget, in the cartoon, we also had that moment where Aang had to stand on trial.
Yeah.
Because they were like, yo, past Avatar killed dude. And it's like, I would never do that. No Avatar would ever do that. Is there any way you can channel her? Let me counter. Boom. Yeah, I did it.
Boy!
I knew then. It's like, look, all them Avatars, some of them didn't play around.
I did it, I gracefully did it, and I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
I ain't care back. He's like, what just happened? And then, yeah, you just basically confessed to the crime.
They don't understand. And nah, Avatar Kyoshi was amazing. I love it. They show the backstory of her village, the Kyoshi village, and the makeup of the warriors
was amazing.
Oh my gosh! There was not one detailed line gone, like no crickets. It was just perfect.
It was great. Whoever did that job was freaking fantastic.
Symmetrical lines, like boy, the makeup, y'all was doing your things. Y'all were doing your things with these girls. When those were my favorite outfits out of the whole season of me watching. Okay.
I actually want to see more people cosplay the Kyoshi Warriors.
Like, the Kyoshi is
I want to see more
amazing.
At cons. I'm letting you out right now. More Kyoshi Warriors at cons.
Come on now. What's another one?
Well, since you're talking about Kyoshi Warriors, do you want to go ahead and talk about Suki?
Yeah, I was about to say. That was my next one on the list.
Okay.
Sokka's Suki, a love interest. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. Now, this love interest was a bit different. Really different.
Yep.
It was so different. Because in the other one, she was like, she was standing 10 toes down, like, oh, so you really think man is just that, oh, just better? Oh, okay, then how about you actually, and then whoop, 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 whoop. Like, you feel me? No,
right, when they took that character arc away from Sokka, he wasn't that dude.
He was not that.
Yeah.
He just came up, and then she was just like, my village, I was a warrior. But he was flirting.
He was flirting.
He was like, my village, I was a warrior in my village. He was like, oh, really? Like, yeah, you feel what I'm saying? I'm really best with my weapons, you know what I'm saying? I can teach you, you know what I'm saying? Oh.
All right, then.
and she was like, just like that? She didn't even say a word. She just grabbed it and looked back at him. He said, oh, well, I'm really more of a hand-to-hand. And she was like, oh, okay.
Run him in.
Right now. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. She belittled him so quick, but it was kind of the awkwardness was so real to me. Not by the storyline, because it was, I know they try to make it look awkward, but awkward as in kind of acting a little bit. Because you can tell
to be awkward with each other. That was the point, because they liked each other.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Acting and the story, I get it. It was supposed to be awkward, but when it came to them actually acting, you can tell it was kind of like not supposed to be like an acting awkwardness. Because if you really pay attention to the scene, after she got done, he's got up all stiff like. I was like, what the fuck was that? I said, did my man stiff walk out of here? Like, the awkwardness you really get, a person just gets up and he looks and he just like, what? I can't believe he done that. Like, and then you tell the person, like, I'm sorry and stuff, but he just like, then walks away. Now my man just got up, looks. I'm telling you, go back and pay attention. If you go back and pay attention to the scene after her doing the choke and then walk up and walk away, you will be like, okay, all right, yeah, okay, I see it. It's not the story awkwardness, the acting awkwardness was rare. It was the acting awkwardness which is there for me.
Got it.
Not like I said, I season 2. Besides the fighting animation and Avatar Kyoshi coming out and doing her thing, like I said, chapter 2, I have no complaints. Like, chapter 2 was really well. Shout out to the actors there, the Kyoshi Warriors and Suzuki. Oh my God, when she took her makeup off, she was so pretty. Like, yo, shout out to the casting. Y'all did a great job casting these people. Y'all did great.
Yeah,
Y'all
they had
really
to,
took your
they
time
had to
with
go
chapter-
straight to the
I feel like
attractiveness,
chapter
'cause
2.
obviously
I really feel like chapter 2. Y'all made sure y'all delivered chapter 2. Y'all made
because
sure.
again, we know that they took away the character trait of Sokka being basically a womanizer. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
oh, women can't do this. Women can't. They took that character away from
Yeah,
him.
they took that away.
So you
and
didn't
stuff
get
like
the
that
whole
because-
him, because one of the first times they got kidnapped. I told you, Aang gets kidnapped a lot. One of the first time they got kidnapped, it's like, ain't no way in hell a bunch of women kidnapped us. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Can
then
we talk about like how we usually see a sneak attack team? We see like a person like had like some type of, not like a sign, but when we had a scene walk by, you see the pop out to get them. It wasn't even like that scene. It was just like they already there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a instant transmission teleportation scene take. You know, when
Right.
that person wasn't there and out of nowhere, they're just right there. It wasn't like
jump
a
scare.
pan
A jump
there.
scare. Yeah.
It wasn't a pan there. It was like a scene cut right there. I was like,
Hey, then Kyoshi Warriors, ninjas.
I get it, you're ninjas, but I seen how ninjas roll and they show some aspect of ninja like. That wasn't even listening. Like, I feel like that was just like, cut. All right, put in the
No,
girls.
But that's what I'm saying. So we had the difference.
All right,
So, of course, in the cartoon, Sokka had to get humbled when he challenged her, because it's like, oh, women, yada, I'm better than any woman. And then she waxed him.
Yeah, she
And
waxed
he,
him.
and he was supposed to apologize, and him being apologizing and actually seeing the error of his ways, that's what started making her like him.
Nah,
And
100%.
in this one, she was down bad from the moment she saw him.
Yeah, because she explored the world.
That's what I'm saying. From this one, it was like, in that one, it was, okay, you redeemed yourself. You know what? Actually, you kind of cute. I like the way. And this one, it was, oh,
When the
man.
man had the door open, she walked by, lifted him up and down. I felt naked. I was
That's
like,
what I'm saying. In the old one, it was, you know what? I like you because you actually have humbled yourself and you know that women are more and you respect us now. I kind of like you. And this one, it was, oh, man. Oh, whoo, whoo, whoo. That's a, whoo. Oh, that's what the outside world got?
Nah. When she said that was she fell in love when she saw that. Like I said, when that door
But
opened
when
with
she
his
saw that man
shirtless,
without
I
that
thought he was
shirt on?
naked at first. I was like,
Nah. But
yeah,
when
they
she
tricked
saw
me.
that man
They
without
tricked me. They
that
got me
shirt
real good
on,
with that.
and
They
she
got me real
looked,
good with that.
and she looked, and she,
And she stayed there looking. And then my man was like,
again, now let's talk about double standards. If somebody did that to a woman, the internet would be crazy right now.
mm-hmm.
But she did not want to leave. It's kind of like, don't you want to stop staring? Nah, I'm good. 5 more seconds. Okay.
Man, what?
They don't look like this in this village.
I'm like, you're so fucking
He was even like, I feel so
violated.
Oh,
But
you know, Sokka the ladies man. That man had all kind of hoes in the cartoon.
yeah, in the cartoons, but in this one, Sokka wasn't even like that, so they kind of showed. But now,
but so far they're there. Because so far, when it comes to all the girls, he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you think about the other girls that he didn't date, but you could tell clearly liked him in the cartoon, like Toph. You know, even Todd Lee was kind of a little down bad for him. Like, the girls wanted them some Sokka, man.
Of course, shout out to Sokka, man. There ain't nothing wrong with Sokka. But like chapter 2, I have no complaints. Y'all did a great job. Shout out chapter 2. Chapter 3. Let's talk about it. Let's
Talk about it.
talk about chapter 3 real quick, okay? All right. One, I'm going on the positive side real here. I was happy, but I was happy, but at the same time with the Aang and the Zuko fight. Because one side, I can understand why Zuko will be that way, but like, you know what? I'm not even gonna use my firebending skills to beat you. Let's go.
I'm glad you said that
You know what I'm
because
saying?
I get it.
I
Because
look at
all the
that, I
time
was
is like,
like,
don't use firebending here because if you use it, the earthbenders are going to be all over you. And that man's like, you know what? I don't need it anyway. Let's run them hands.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? First, I was like, okay, I'll see you Zuko. And then Aang was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do the same thing too.
They said screw bending, let's run hands.
Where did
And
this
I was
come
like,
from?
okay, let's run them hands then.
Like, wait a minute, where did this? I was like, where did this come from?
Because they didn't want to bring attention to themselves.
Like, no, I don't even need no goddamn bending to fight you. Like, oh, I got. Wait a minute. When we put some taijutsu in this? Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah,
I'm used to fire,
because
air,
because
piss,
Aang
box,
is a legit
a fan.
kid.
I'm like,
That's the thing. Aang is like a legit kid in this adaptation. He's so tiny.
yeah, so
And
tiny.
let me actually ask you this: do you think that maybe that's one of the reasons that they didn't kind of do a lot of hinting at the love between him and Katara? Because at least in the cartoon, they looked about the same age. In this one,
You can
she looked
clearly
like she's
tell
too
they're
old for
different
that.
ages. You can clearly tell.
You
You can
she look
clearly
like she's
tell
too
they're
old
different
for that.
ages.
Yeah.
It's right there. I won't even
It
be
was
surprised they do the love
awkward
scene at
for
the
them to
end.
be kind of flirting with each other. It was like, man, you too old for this little boy.
Too old for the little boy, but like, wait till they get to the end. We'll see what's up. We'll see
We'll
what
see
they
what's
do on
up.
that.
But
We'll see
no,
what's
they
up.
were ready to run hands. He's like, man, I don't need my
Man,
fire for this kid.
That
Put
fucked
him.
me up. I was
Put him on.
down a little bit because I was expecting. I was kind of hyped to see some fire, air, things of destruction, but they took it away. They went hand in hand. I was like, you know what?
And we know more time is coming. And for the story that they were telling, don't do it. Because when he finally did use it, what happened?
That's why I
You
said, whatever. I'll let y'all got it. This is your world. This is you. Y'all say I ain't gonna do it. They took out a lot of stuff in this chapter.
They merged a lot of things.
They merged a lot. They took out a lot. I noticed that. And now my question is, how are we gonna get Toph backstory? That's gonna get very difficult a little bit.
They can still tell it. It's just we'll see what they.
Out. We know about Toph backstory about basically one of the wrestling and stuff like that, and we never really basically have that going on in the story because they kind of introduced that in the Rock Emperor stations and stuff like that, and Toph was still hinting there was around. So it was kind of like, okay, I see where you're going with this, but you kind of took away Toph's backstory a little bit. There are some things in there that Toph would do. So if y'all gonna add this on later on, then
definitely coming to season 2.
They have no choice because Toph is one of the likable characters.
Yeah,
in 2.
exactly.
But like I said, you kind of took away. It's like I write it down. I said it kind of ruins because it's basically about them using earthbending senses in their way around. It destroys how Toph was able to learn earthbending to see of using it. But Toph will appear in the second season, obviously. But we're just gonna have to wait and see how it be. Because like I said, if you take around basically one of the sensibility about what Earth would be and most of the shit will be gone and it's the rest of the ring ain't gonna be there and most of the shit gonna be destruction and all the war, all this other shit that we didn't really have, and then y'all took out a lot of other things that came with it and Toph was kind of included. We're gonna it's gonna make it just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna make it a little bit difficult.
I feel like
you're gonna try to bring this thing back to life, or you're just gonna pull it out your ass and then go with the flow. And I don't want you to pull it out your ass and go with the flow.
I'll say this. I think they'll still keep that Toph is from high life and that her parents are overprotective. I think they'll keep that, but I don't know if they're going to keep the underground wrestling thing.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's one of the most critical things about Toph. They might come up with
another way for her to be proven that she's really, strong.
You know what I'm saying? Because Toph
they might do something else to prove it.
Because that's one of the most critical things about Toph, about getting that damn belt.
But we'll see.
That's why I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but that's important. So, hey, Avatar, talk to me. Is that why the creators left? Talk to me.
And what I'm saying, like,
I don't know.
He'll probably show it some other kind of way, even if it's like a backstory or something. We'll see what they do with that. We'll see.
That's
Like
scary.
another
That's scary.
year or two away, though.
That's really scary. That's a scary pull away to me. What else I had on chapter 3? I have a lot on here. Oh,
Go.
why did you introduce my bitch so early?
Because they changed her story arc.
Made me so mad.
They changed it. You see, it's not the same story.
Oh my god. They did so much changing to her. I shut up and I was like,
Her motivation is completely different.
I'm gonna watch this entire thing before I get my final input. And I sat there and watched it. Because I called him first and was like, hey, yo, I am pissed. They introduced her mad fucking early to me. Just to me, that's kind of way early. Way early. Because Zuko didn't fail that many times yet. He didn't. He's still just starting his fails.
But then we turned out that's not the reason they brought her early. Her storyline is not the same.
So when I watched it, and they were just like, oh, he's taking out everything that I work hard for. I was like, she basically already had the seat and slow before in the cartoon, but I'm gonna see. Let me see how y'all try to fix this in. Let me see how y'all try to do this. One, I'm upset about her outfit a little bit. I am upset about her outfit because it definitely with all the leather, like I feel like y'all could have done a little bit more pizzazz with her, just a lot more. Because for somebody to be a princess, she got to look right. Obviously, she needs something to be movable about so she could do her stunts and stuff like that and do her roles. However, when you look at the live adaptation and you put the cartoon aside, most of them have the same damn near great or not better replicas. Her is like a downgrade a little bit. So that's why I looked at it. I'm just like.
Well, they also put them all in practically battle gear because when you think about, and I know you're going to get to it in a second, there wasn't the whole, I need to go get my team together. May and Tali are just already there.
That was my other thing.
And
that was my other thing.
Look at what Tali's wearing. Nothing like she wore. In fact, if it wasn't for the ponytail, I would have known that was Tali.
You see what I'm saying? They changed a lot of things in there, which I'm like, okay, I see if you try to change the movie. Maybe when we get to the
you weren't gonna put her in the sexy outfit that you put her in the cartoon.
No.
I knew that. I knew that.
I expected the sexy outfit. Like I said, I expected her outfit as
so
somewhat
unrecognizable. I didn't know her the ponytail.
And when I looked at them, I was like, what the hell was going on? And then when they introduced her, they were just like, they were just basically, they kind of just threw her, to me, they kind of just threw her out there, which is to be like, okay, we're going to have to make sure, we know we didn't show her that much of the cartoon, but we're going to introduce her early so we can get some other motivational reason that she had a cause, but other reason kind of still validates the same reason now. Just the only difference is they've just put a little bit more steps into resolving to that reason of why she hates him that much. That's the only difference about this. Because in the cartoon, she already had her things to cause. She already set stone. She was already Queen Bee where she was going. She's already walked around the world, already knew her name. When she popped
She's already the heir. You know,
right,
at least until we get to the finale, which we'll get to because we're going at a time.
Exactly, right? But when it came to her right now, it was just like, oh no, we're going to see her work a little bit more to get what she needs to be and stuff like that. But I'm just like, but one end it's like, okay, I see where y'all going with this. But
they were still playing it off like Zuko was still the heir.
Right. It was like, okay, I rock with that, but you kind of banished this man from your village. You already had the idea of bringing a princess to be the next heir because that was the whole point of the Avatar of her acting Queen Bee already because you basically gave her the seat.
Right. So now, but in this adaptation, they didn't, at least not right away. Again, when we get to the season finale, we'll talk more about it.
So, because that's why I was like, okay, we here just sitting here, got to get to the replication of what it was. So I was like, okay, I see where we're going with this, but it kind of not make me feel like she's that much of a threat anymore. She doesn't show me that I need to watch out for her. Because when I say when you introduce a character to the show, you always want to make sure like, okay, this is a badass motherfucker. Obviously, when you're looking at an Avatar and stuff like that, you don't really have that. You have that pressure when you look at when she first introduced and then she went with that lightning. You be like, ho, ho, yee-haw, 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 wait, bitch is throwing lightning and blue flames. Wait a minute, but
flames.
But you feel what I'm saying? But in this one, it was just more like, we see her working to get to where she needs to be. So it was like, okay, but I'm not feeling her spiritual pressure. You kind of
Right.
took
I
her
mean,
away from her.
and we can skip ahead a little bit. They made it look like the whole time that Zuko was sitting out there doing a good thing. His dad was proud
Yes,
of him.
that's my thing too.
He was
That
still
was
the
still my
actual
man
heir,
too.
and
You
it was
banish
pissing
him
her
for showing
off.
compassion. You banish him for showing compassion. So why would you sit here and make a joke, be funny about her?
And
Because she
then
was talking about like she was having that
it was
snorkel,
like,
was being
no,
all talk.
it's actually really been screw Zuko the whole time. We just trying to motivate Azula.
And it was like, what? I'm like, that I said nah, but that's in there first. Like, you do know that she knows your potential. He's just trying to make you get in his head. It's never enough for him, and now my father's and adaptation, and nah. I was like, she was that a sus?
And it turned out he was just trying to motivate her. But the whole thing is, and I mean, that sounds good if you want to try to do the whole, I'm using Zuko to motivate her. But the man was banished for what he did and being nice and standing up to all of that. So why would you even believe that a man that was banished for being like that he's still looking at him like, oh no, he's still next in line?
That what got me. I was like,
The
no,
fact that
people keep
Azula
that
even
same
believed
energy
that to
like he
be
doesn't even
true.
exist.
I wouldn't have even believed that. I'm like, oh no, he's banished. He ain't next in line. I mean, come on now.
What's we supposed to do? Like, nah, you banish him. You exile. You banish the
But no,
motherfucker.
she had jealousy. She was actually jealous of
Yeah.
Zuko in this.
I was like, why was she jealous? She was never jealous of this nigga. She was
No,
never.
not Zuzu. No, it's like the screw Zuzu. It's like, man,
She was
look, I'm
never jealous of Zuzu. When the woman done this scene, why would she ever be jealous?
like, look, I'm like my father. He's like our mother. Bottom line.
What you mean? What you mean? But not really much about that though.
My
Really was
mother
like
thought
too
I was a
crazy.
monster. Don't get me wrong, she was right. I mean, that Azula, like the one that was pure evil.
Yeah.
And like I said, they completely took her by putting the girls with her the entire time. Now you've taken away Talie's backstory, and you've taken away May's backstory because they're already there.
Mm-hmm.
There is no recruitment to make, so there is no Talie was in the circus. They might try to pull some BS like he was in the circus once upon a time, and then they brought her in. It's like, but no, the whole reason was she wanted to bring her in. She's like, no, I'm happy with my life. Azula sabotaged her freaking show and was like, because she's evil. It's like, oh, you said no. I'm gonna turn that no into a yes.
Bruh.
Like they might try to do some BS. I was part of the circle, but no, you've already shown that she's there the whole time now.
Like, nah, this is my friend. This is my real friend group. Nah, she was supposed to be Destiny Child. She was
They
supposed
the
to
mean girl.
She supposed to be the one. She supposed to be Beyonce rocking with Jay-Z. Remember? Like, I didn't get that Beyonce feeling when I looked at her because every time she walked, it's her show. when you see her, you like, oh yeah, it's her show. Especially
Right.
the beach episode. Oh, they made sure it was her show. Man, what the fuck?
Of
That
course.
volleyball seat. All right, we'll let that go. But chapter 4.
Oh my goodness, the beach episode.
Yeah.
Azula trying her best to give compliments, and she can't even do that,
Can't
right?
even do that. But it was her show though.
Because you're so sharp.
Oh wow. But
I like you. We can rule the world together. Like, damn.
chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
Why they do my man Bunny like this? They done my man Bunny wrong a little bit to me. Because this is where I put. What did y'all do to my man Bunny? He was a high energy, super fun. He wants to help Aang with a helping hand with anything, and then y'all turn him into a killer. He still had some jokes in, but it was still murder intensity the entire time. I was looking like this is not the same Bunny I know. Like, my man showed some jokey, but it still wasn't Bunny to me that I know who just walks around with the guards and just talking to Aang. Like, nah, I'm talking to him. We're having a life story. I know him, but I need to know about your Avatar story life. Oh, that's why you want to be Avatar? Well, you know, there's some things you want to become an Avatar. Okay, well, let me help you push you where you need to be. And they're like, nope, this Bunny? Nah, they just basically was like a jokester, a prankster. Put him in rocks. My man said, I'm going to put you in this last challenge called Life or Death. I said, what, Big Mom? I said, what happened here? Why did we become so merciless all of a sudden? But like I said, I was like, okay, we're serious. I had to keep this in mind. I said, we're still here. We're still seriousness. We still had to keep that mindset up there. But every time I looked at it when it came to Bunny, I'm just like, but Bunny was just some fun, lovable character guy that you could really talk to. Now, grant me, don't get me wrong, there was moments in the show when you look at Bunny and there was like some weird intentions that you looked at him. But in the aftermath of most of the stuff, he's still trying to make sure you get to the Avatar. He's still trying to make sure that like you were still the same friend and stuff like that. Aang was teaching him a life lesson and stuff like, you have to become in this and stuff like that. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he was teaching Aang because he wasn't here for the times and he was keeping him up with history, what was going on. I didn't get none of that. It was just more about him being a old, spoiled, rich king, emperor, literally like, who told this man to put peacock tea in here? You did.
You did.
Oh. The fuck? What do y'all do to my man? What do y'all do to my boy?
Here's what I said. That's what I said. Because they still tried to give him like the, the senile old man thing that he had. But the one difference that they did was obviously in the cartoon, it was, I'm putting him through these tests because I'm secretly trying to get him ready for his next journey because I recognize him as my old friend Aang. And this one, it's a little more realistic of the fact that, yeah, we were close friends. But dude, you abandoned me for 100 years too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually more realistic. I ain't like you think that somebody just gonna disappear from the world when they needed you the most for 100 years, and even some of your friends ain't gonna be like, bruh. Like he told her, I saw the past 100 years. I've seen this entire war. I've seen the suffering, the things we had to fight for. You weren't here for, you my friend, but you weren't here for none of that. And you sitting around here, I get it, you in the ice, technically you still a kid, but bro, you need to grow up. And you need to learn what the price of war is. You're going to have to learn that you're going to have to make sacrifices. There's going to be times where two things are going to be happening and you can't save them both. So what you going to do?
Pull the impossible.
Well, he couldn't pull the impossible. He needed his friends.
I said that was part, but that's the thing about Avatar.
Until Aang gets on those kicks where it's like, I need to do it by myself.
Yeah, we'll get there soon. We'll get that soon, but he's about his friends right now. He
stays doing that one.
He's on his friends. He's about his friends right now. We ain't that Aang yet. We're about
and he might not become that Aang in this version. We don't know.
We don't know. We definitely gonna see.
But he was definitely different in that aspect. They decided to serious him up. Like, he was still lovable. He still appreciated Aang, but at the same time, they made sure to put on that realistic nature of, dude, you did abandon us for 100 years.
I just felt like they did my man Booney wrong because he did all these other stuff because it was like, I wasn't doing this for a trial. It was supposed to be this because that was kind of the main thing of why Booney was showing the aspect for him to channel his avatar state more.
Right.
But this one, it was just more of like, I want you gone. So it was like, okay, so are we focusing more on avatar state or are we just focusing on everybody that he talks to is just gone? And if that's the case, then, okay, I'm prepared that whatever next friend, that when we get to the deeper next stage, when he be trusting the other people, they're going to be some backstabs. That's what I'm expecting, right? Cool.
Right.
So I don't want, because I remember a lot of them being cool, less than a backstab, especially when we get to the Fire Nation and him there. So we won't see.
Yeah. Especially even in the cartoon, you think about it, it's like he never once questions Aang, like, where the hell have you been all this time?
I was like,
man,
they took all the seriousness out of my boy. I was like, damn. I said, all right, I see you, my boy. I see you. The biggest thing that I love about it is they did the flashback of my Aro flashback about his son.
Yes, that was actually a little extra,
That was
and
a
I like
great
that.
flashback to me. That was a wonderful flashback because when we had that scene of him basically escaping and him facing his past about one of the soldiers, about his family, because war, hatred, still there.
Which, by the way, it was hard to feel sorry for Iroh because the dude was right.
Yeah.
It was like, you did do that. He was 19. You killed him.
Yeah. He said
to be treating Iroh this way.
He event in time and told him exactly what it was. And he said, do you know how young he was? He was 19 years old. I go to sleep at night and I still smell smoke. How do you live with yourself?
He was justified to treat Iroh like that. As much as I like Iroh, it's like,
I know.
You did this.
Yeah. You got to learn to accept that. My man was about to drop a boulder, but he still looked at me outside like, if you want to do it, you want to do it now. But when he walked away,
still trying to talk tough to him because Iroh didn't want to show that weakness. I mean, he broke down after he walked away, but Iroh didn't want to show that weakness to him. And it was like, man, I guess he probably felt like, ain't really no point in apologizing to this guy. What can you really say? I'm sorry I seized y'all village for 600 days. And I ain't gonna forgive you for that. But I think he knew that.
I said they did great, but he was like, you don't know nothing to sacrifice to the stuff that I had to go through. It's like, oh, how do you feel about stuff? You never lost anything anyways for your life. Flashback.
But we already knew he lost his son.
And I was like, what you mean about? I know about sacrifice. Oh, I know about sacrifice. And then we have to bring him.
And actually called Iroh, said that man had no compassion. He was heartless.
Mm-hmm.
And us knowing that ain't him at all.
We know that's when that ain't him at all.
Yeah.
Where he was showing, that was his
demeanor. He was showing like he had no compassion.
Like you saw, like, oh, this right, you a fire nation, right? Y'all don't have humanity. Y'all don't have humanity. Y'all don't have that at all.
Not even a little bit. Like
he was like, bro, we know, but we still got the job to do. All right, you lucky. I'm gonna drop this rock on your fucking head.
They didn't show up. Yo, he was gonna die.
Yeah. Oh, he was gonna drop it. Oh, that was all really much for chapter 4 for me. It wasn't really that much of a classwork. I mean, of course, you could get into like the love cave and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can get into the stuff with Chad and with Sai.
Yeah, you can do that, but
because they merged episodes, because obviously the Chat stuff was a completely different episode in the cartoon than the Sai stuff was. I didn't have a problem with the merging because again, you got to get this going.
That's why I skipped over that. I don't have a problem with the rest.
Get this going. But it did cause that. But what they did throw in, which was a good spot, if you were going to merge them two, I do like that they went ahead and kind of had the togetherness of like Sokka and Katara taking their side, and it was them to get into it. Yeah. Well, that's over whose fault this is.
It was really both sides.
Both sides
had to play in this. Both sides. It's like, oh, you came here because you like the guy, and you like the guy because he made the machines. So it's like
because
you thought A didn't say nothing. He was just.
Because in the cartoon, with Chat, Sokka was the one that figured out what Chat was doing and tried to tell Aang and Katara, and they weren't trying to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And, and so they tried to get rid of him. And then on the flip side, with Sai, it wasn't like y'all caught him dealing with a fire person. It was y'all found the room where the stuff was being made. And it's like, wait, so what the hell's going on in here? In this case, we saw him dealing with a fire person. We saw that that's what he had going on. So it put Sokka and Katara against each other about whose fault this really is, and they were basically very vigorously taking a side, kind of like they were in the episode, which is kind of pointless to do in the live action. So I know why they didn't display it when they were escorting the two groups from the different backgrounds, and they both kind of took a side. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't expect any of that to be in the live action because that's kind of pointless. You could take that out and miss nothing. Mm-hmm. But so they brought it kind of to that episode where it's like, okay, we got them against each other. Then they made them be the ones that go in the tunnel, and it turned out the love was like that love when the mole came up on them. It was the love between siblings. Mm-hmm. So they did a lot of changing, but like I said, they weren't really changes where I'm like, that's not how it went down. It was like,
Yeah.
no, cool. It was cool.
No, I'm saying it'd be different if they changed the story and it didn't work.
Right.
That's why I was like, no, you have a problem with the rest of them. No, no problem.
And again, if they're not gonna lean into the Aang Katara stuff, it might as well just do sibling love. Why not? Frozen did it.
I think chapter 5. I didn't really have much. That's crazy. I didn't really have much of chapter 5 like that either. I don't think chapter 5 really just gave me some idea. It was just more about like spirit worlds, Aang learning about himself, what route also needed to go, what he needed to do to basically save his friends, all that good stuff. It wasn't really much of that chapter 5 that was really just much of a downfall, actually.
Again, they meshed stuff, but again, it was like the stuff that they got rid of. Again, Avatar had his filler moments, and they just kind of got rid of them. So
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't
anything.
Like I said, I did not. Chapter 5 was just like one of those things, which is cool. Like I said, only thing I could just say is about what we mentioned earlier. Ozan calling out Zora was just pretty good on chapter 5. That was just probably the only thing that was pretty good to me.
Like
I found funny, but at the same time, it was kind of disappointing.
Obviously, you got the other stuff that's going on in the background the whole time. The stuff with Zhao and them and and Iroh and Zuka. All that's been going on the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
But,
you got the backstory stuff. That's why I said we get backstory stuff. That's like, oh, we're good. We're chilling.
In the background, that's all roughly what happened anyway. So that's all roughly the same. They stretched
this
out
is the Zuko story.
more, but,
this is like, okay, we got Aang. This is Zuko. Y'all don't learn why Zuko's so angry? I'm gonna tell you. Get a popcorn. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Let me tell you why he's so angry. Let me tell y'all why y'all are even on this boat right now.
Man, because y'all was about
to be so bad at him
before my nephew stood up for your lives. Because y'all was about to be sacrificial pawns.
Front lines.
He was like, wait, are you going to sacrifice the men? Just like that?
He's like, so how are they supposed to get out of there? They're not. They're not. So we're just going to sacrifice them? It's like, they're rookies anyway.
Hey,
they don't matter. They're
men. And he was like, you know what? I know how we can handle this. Fight me outside.
Catch me outside. How about that?
He's like, oh, so you got a problem with it? Huh? Anybody got objections? But you? All right. Come meet me outside the back. Father, I don't want to.
No. Because at first, remember the cartoon, like he knew he was going to fight, but he thought he was going to fight the captain. And then his father stepped out there like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. He was ready for the captain. He was like, "Bad, I'll beat this captain ass." He was just like, "Dad, what's up, bro?"
As soon as the day he dropped to his knees, please, father, don't do this. I don't want that smoke. No.
I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear it. Get up.
Get up. Fight. Fight back. Fight back. Fight back.
And he had a free hit. He was going to do it, but he was like, "You my dad. I can't do it." He was like, "You bitch ass nigga. You're weak." I was like, do I smell sympathy?
Man, look, I was
coming out for you, my boy.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be like, man, if this was a Zula, she would have kicked me down, threw me down, and kicked dirt on my dead body if it was her.
But you? You show compassion? Nah. Dan walk up on him on his injury. He was like, you know why I did that to you, right? He gave him that talk.
Like literally.
Like, oh no!
Like when you a kid and you get in trouble and your parents whoop you and send you to your room and then they come up later and that's like, okay, I punish you. Now it's time to talk about why I had to do it.
So you know why I did that, right? It's because you're weak. You show compassion, son. You had a free hit on me, but you didn't. That's why I left that mark on your face. Throw all that sympathy out of the way, son. Just throw it out the way. I just can't do that. You know what?
Yeah, in the live action, they actually gave Zuko a second chance. Because in the cartoon, it was just like, nah, run them hands, now get the hell out. And that's when he tried to give him one more chance. Like, look, I did that for your own good, son. I need to show you. Stop being like your freaking uncle. It's like, I'm trying to be nice.
Stop being nice. You want me to stop being nice to a person I love? Are you crazy?
You know what? I just can't with you. I just can't.
Okay, you know what? Since you want to act like this, you ain't coming back until you find a fucking avatar. I was like, God damn,
you know what?
Dad.
I can't with you right now. Get out.
Damn, for being nice. Yeah. I smell pussy, and it's coming from you.
You smell that? Like that? Smell like that little bitch in my clan.
Man, like my man Go just said, is that sympathy I smell from you? And I smell sympathy from you? Nah, you wild. Chapter 6. One of my favorites! The Masked Mercenary! Oh, I was waiting for this, baby. Oh, I was sitting in my high chair. I said, okay, wait a minute. Because my brain started to kick in again. I said, wait a minute.
We knew it was coming because that's a big pivotal part.
Yeah, I heard my brain started kicking. I said, okay, wait a minute. Zao. I said, that's Zao.
He's going to capture Aang.
I said, capture Aang. Yes. And then I saw the swords and the mask. He put it on. I said, let's go, mercenary time.
Oh, and by the way, man, I'm drawing a blank on her name, but the girl who tracked down Aang,
the bounty.
She looked really good.
Yes, I give her that. You notice they took that out too. Oh, chasing Aang and shit. They took that out.
I mean, they still tracked him down. She still tracked him
down. Yeah, but in the cartoon, they said adaptation of him doing what they need to do to get Aang. This one, it was just like, okay, we got you. What's up, bro? Hey, dude. Dude. Hey, you woke up. All right. He was like, oh, what am I doing here? Yeah, I found you in the middle of the swords. Thank me later. But
yeah, you're caught.
I'm here for my money. Thank you, old man. Thank you, sweet peach. You're so cute. Bye.
I know he was actually practically flirting with Iroh the whole time. But while in the cartoon, the man actually faked being paralyzed just so he could lay with her.
Man,
Uncle, I don't remember you getting paralyzed.
And this was you flirting with her like, I said, wow, she is strong. She is spicy. Mama's.
You're lucky he's cute. Like, he was liking it. He's like, all right then.
That ain't the first time she said. You look how he came to him. He said, I got all the money. I collected it. I put it all this up. You can count it right now for you. If anything that you want, I got you. You feel me? Because I don't want you to kill us.
No, he was stuck. He was down bad. I get it.
No, but if you're dealing with a bounty, with a paralyzed and stuff like that, no, I don't got time for it. Nope.
Ain't got time for it. Count it. We on the up and up. Like, nope, nah.
You don't know about your business. I know who you are. Here's your money. Here you go. Oh, well, thank you. But you're pretty cute.
But I thought she looked good, like her design and everything. Like I thought it was very well done.
Very well done. The cosplay of that was amazing. But
then they caught him, and then obviously he had to be broken out.
I never had a problem because they did really good because, like I said, the action scene that was on. When he came in with the sword and they did the sword scene, I said, okay, now are they going to do the sword scene when the two bowmans come out and then he sliced down every fucking arrow that comes at him? I said they did it. Oh, they did it. They said, stop him, there's a mercenary. I said, oh, they did the line. I said, oh, yes. They did the scene. Yes. I said, oh, Zuko, thank you. As a fan, that made me happy because that's one of my favorite episodes. That's one of my favorite episodes when Aang and the mercenary had to work together to get out.
It was the first, glimpse of seeing how well Zuko and Aang works together.
Yeah, but that's before we knew who he was. In the beginning, we never knew.
But I'm just saying, he didn't know that was Zuko, but I'm just saying that was our first taste of seeing how well.
Yeah, because when he took the mask off, we was like,
that teamwork was crazy. Like, it was just like, look, do this. All right, now hand me this one. All right, let's go.
Like come on now.
Of teamwork. And then they finally didn't get over that wall, and it was.
Oh yeah, like, you know what?
Y'all need him alive, don't you? I do it right
if you want to. And he was like, he looked at me first like he ain't gonna kill him, and then he saw the blood coming off of his neck. I said, oh, they're showing the blood from the neck. Oh, we're serious.
I'm serious.
Do it. I still don't give a fuck about him. I'm letting you know this right now. I really don't care. But we get it. Let me go. Bet. But that's one of the first few times. I know in this anime and in the live action, they try to show the first time of them not doing airbending skills. But that was actually in the Avatar, that That was actually the first time that Zuko did not use his firebending skills at all to get out of the situation. Like,
well, he didn't want to give himself away, so
exactly.
you know, it was like,
That's the very first time we never see him use this firebending skill to get out of the situation. My man was purely hands and katana or machete, whatever you want to call them.
whatever you want to call the things he had.
Whatever you want to call them. But the mercenary, oh, that was so good. The action was just so good. And then we got out, and then we got the resolve. They brought that back in. He was like, oh, it was too good. He woke up, and then Aang finally understood because, in the beginning, Aang was like, oh, now I see what type of how your grandson is. He was like, you're absolutely wrong. You really don't know who he is. Because it was like everybody else sees the tough, hard shell of him, but the uncle is the only one who knows his true intentions. Like, he's been there. Like,
They added a lot more, which I actually like was a good touch. Like, even after he saw that was Zuko and he saved him. Like, even the talk that they had when Zuko woke up, they added so much more to it. Because, in the cartoon, it was just, he woke up and he started telling the story about the firebending friend that he used to have. And then he just asked him, if things were different, do you think we could have been friends? And that was pretty much the end of that. But here, he actually started getting Zuko to open up a little bit. Until he started talking about his daddy.
He's like, yeah, shut the fuck. What you say about my dad?
But before that, he was starting to open up. Like, hey, we talk, we bonded. And you had to talk about my daddy, didn't you?
Say about my daddy? What you say about my daddy? Say what? Nah, fuck say one more time. But when he said we could be friends, my man didn't want to hear that. He immediately just threw he immediately threw that fire. He said, you think we really could be friends? Did you just
friends?
Did you just is that sympathy I smell? Like Zuko, like when Isaac did to Zuko did the same to Aang. Like, is that sympathy? Is that sympathy I smell? Like, get away. Hey yo, sympathy in the Fire Nation is not a thing. If they smell any one type of kindness, I know, I recognize the smell. I smell kindness. Like,
yeah, you ain't family. Like he'll let Iroh get away with that because he's basically been like his actual father. But
he's technically been exiled too because of all the stuff. They call him a coward from all the warriors.
Plus, as you've seen, him and Iroh always bonded because he was the kind one. His mom was the kind one. Iroh was the kind one. That's why Iroh got banished. His mom gone.
Forever.
But for him, that's why. Because it's like, look, because he's kind inside. He just got that both sides in him that keeps him conflicted, which is why Iroh kept having to hey, listen to your heart, man. You got to figure this out. You can have a new destiny, right? Basically.
Well, you kind. You're really nice. You just have the rules of your father just inflicted. It's just like a killer moment. It's like, you're a great person, but you just had that one needle in the back of your thing you just can't pull out yet.
I mean, at the end of the day, your entire crew are your crew because you saved all their lives. You could have let them die.
Yeah.
So
even though you talk records to them crazy, but they didn't know his intention until Uncle was like, bro, y'all really don't know.
He's nicer than you think. That's the thing. He's inside of him. And that's what
I looked at him. He was just like, so y'all really just gonna just act like after all we've been through, y'all's gonna listen to him just like that? Well, excuse me, sir. And I was just like, well. I said, well, you just don't know, don't you? Like, I knew it. I was like, you really don't know, don't you? You were about to die. You was gonna go. Like, finito. 7.
It doesn't matter because before all of that, the only reason all the stuff between Zuko and Zhao even happened in the first place was because one of Zuko's own crew members pretty much domed out the Avatar.
All right. We're almost done. Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. What you gotta say, sir? Say something. I'm trying to avoid the dead air.
It's not that. I'm just over here like, there's so much to process with episode 7. Because you have, Sokka with the love interest story again. We got
2 for 2.
We got that out. Then we're asking about he's in love with his fox spirit lady.
Which they added a lot extra in there about the whole. Also, you were the one I saw in the forest, you
yeah,
know.
and all that good stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Fox Spirit lady, we recognize that. All right, cool.
She's not actually not engaged to be married. She's done already broken that off.
Yeah, but 16.
So you don't have that feud with,
But you,
with
you saw
Sokka.
how Sokka slid that in though. He was like, so you like the princess, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So y'all was blind, so y'all not together, right? Oh, no, not
She broke it off. It is what it basically we were engaged. She broke it off. It is what it is. I don't think about it. Oh,
I
okay.
love it because he was just like, oh, okay.
So what you say? So what you saying
is I can talk to homegirl. Got it. Man, that's all I want to. That's all I want to. That's it. Then we got the arc of basically Sokka, and I said Katara was basically becoming the sexist thing going
learning her
on.
waterbending training, and that was the same way.
Women only there for heal, men only there for battle. Which the sexist thing is definitely going on in there again.
Now, of course, the one difference, I guess we can go ahead and bring that up too. This is the first time that Katara is being introduced to healing abilities.
Yeah.
When in the cartoon, she already knew how to heal before she got there.
Yeah, I was about to say
because
that.
you already had the situation where Aang burned her, and she tried to cool off her hands and ended up healing herself. So so different. She didn't know how to heal up until this point.
Yep. So that was pretty interesting how they did that. There was
But you haven't. But that also means you got to this point. You haven't introduced Aang trying to learn firebending yet either.
Right. Because what kind of got me was Aang was supposed to be learning waterbending with Katara for a long time until they kind of like brushed that off.
Well, they came up to that because it was after they left here where he was like, well, I guess he's gonna have to start calling you Master Katara. He had already in the cartoon by this point, he had already technically tried to learn firebending because that was when he burned Katara by accident. So they cut that storyline just completely out. Because remember, it turned out that was Xiao's master that they would do like that. That's just gone.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's chapter 7 was one of them. It's like we're trying to accept it to what it is, but there are some things that we're kind of trying to understand.
Yeah,
because like I said, it come because when you look at the Avatar chapter 7, it was one of those things where it was like it was cool, but it wasn't really that cool when it comes to taking away some important keys of chapter 7. Because like I said, it got to the point that we actually got to the Water Tribe, and then everybody finally learned this step of the role because that you have the boy, the warrior, something knowing about the fire, and then Sokka and his love, and then Aang finally trying to learn to be a better Avatar. I mean, his Avatar thing become the water, start fighting and everybody and stuff like that. It was like
that's what I'm saying, and the fact that you took out the whole thing with Zhao's master already trying to teach him firebending, you taking that out. Now you have to lead to the different thing where you have to go to them and tell them, I haven't even started any kind of bending yet. I know nothing. I've done no training whatsoever when in the cartoon. That's not true.
Yeah. Because he had literally some sort of training when it got
not only had he technically trained firebending a little bit, he had already learned that he could conjure fire, but he had already trained with Katara. She wasn't his master yet, but he had already, she showed him what little she knew, and then he replicated it and then ended up being better than she was, which made her feel some type of way.
Right.
Like, all of that's just gone.
You have a child for you. But but that's what I'm saying though. It was chapter 7 was weird. It was a weird chapter. It was weird. It's like I just gotta accept it to what it is, but it was just like
they kept a lot of the key stuff though, so I guess that was fine.
Yeah.
Really got the thing with Katara wanting to learn and not wanting to teach her, and you got the stuff with Yui, Princess Yui still there, even though they changed a little bit of the stuff, but the important stuff I guess is still kind of there, but some of the stuff they took out from earlier, so there's some things that they can't add because they never introduced them.
Right. So that's why I said chapter 7 is like a little shaky. It was shaky, but it's just like we have this episode what it is. So like I said, chapter 7 was just like up and down. It was just a lot of up and downs. It's like, okay. All right, whatever. We'll accept it.
Finishing
Got you.
on chapter 8.
Yeah, it's all good. Chapter 8. I want your opinion on chapter 8 this time. How you feel about chapter 8?
Well, of course, chapter 8 is where they kind of got to the end of everything. Like, they included a lot of the stuff that you would expect them to include, because if you're going to be there, you got to do the whole war with when Qatar, when they duel and everything. So you knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You knew they were going to do the whole thing where, with the moon thing in the water, and Yui having to sacrifice herself. Although they did it a little different because at first, Sokka was upset that she was doing it in the cartoon, but kind of understand this is what she's doing to save everything. And this one, it was kind of like I'm going to do this to you so you can't stop me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think he would have been that selfish, but whatever. She still felt the need. She needed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we ended up getting that payoff that we talked about earlier with the whole Azula thing, where it becomes the whole why they were doing that to Azula the whole time, and it was really to motivate her this entire time. So that whole thing kind of paid off to, okay, so this is what this has been this whole time. They really don't care about Zuko. They literally led us to believe this whole season that his dad still care about his son like that. And then you get to chapter 8 and it's like, nah, no, he don't.
It's like, sweet.
What's cracking, senpai?
You're not lying about that. That's why I was like, I gotta hear your side, but I can even tell you my side because I had mixed feelings about that too.
That's what I'm saying. But as far as like the stuff they did, the battle, the moon, like all of that's from the cartoon. It was just the other things, the little things.
Yeah,
the
like I said, the action is something we understand.
The Azula payoff. Like,
yes. I want to see what your dialogues and your acting skills and stuff, because that's critical to me.
We're talking the live action Avatar.
Like chapter 8, when they kind of sets everything up, but like I said though, it still pisses me off that I didn't introduce that introduction of the character of a big badass. Like, I don't get a big badass Azula feeling. I get a girl who was working to get where she wanted to be so she can actually prove her father more loyalty. It's like,
I guess they figured if we went on this journey with her to try to prove her worth, that maybe that'll get us more ready for season 2.
Or maybe have some sort of sympathy with her, just a little bit dialogue, because in the cartoon, we really didn't have that some sort of sympathy with her. Because it was just like,
zero sympathy. That woman has no soul.
No, I'm just talking about like for us to have something for her, to why her mind was riding crazy to what she was. That's why I say, in one end, I get it, but at the same time, this is this is another replica of a fucking this is a father like daughter right here. They don't care about none of that right now.
In the cartoon, like father like daughter, heartless.
They don't care. They don't care about none of that, bro. Like, they 100% walked in there.
She seemed like she only truly cared about 2 things, and that was May and Tali. And you still seen the way she treated them.
Man, and then in the goddamn, and now this one she's more obsessed to the throne and the heir. And this one, she's more obsessed with the throne heir of the chair.
She's obsessed with it.
She's too obsessed with it. It's kind of like, damn, she's really that obsessed? Because I thought it was more about, I just want to get rid of my brother.
Her being upset that she heard that that her brother found the Avatar.
Yeah.
And, in the cartoon, she didn't give a damn about that Avatar until it became time to care about that Avatar. The whole thing was, we finna bring back them traitors, my brother and my uncle, and we finna bring them back. But then after that, it's kind of like, you know what? I think I need to go get that Avatar.
Like, bro, and that's the difference of that. It was like, oh shit, she really belittled you. Like, she didn't really care, because when she had the chance to get him, she really didn't get him. She had the chance to get him the first time. When it came out there,
but she didn't care.
Because she had homegirl cut off all his bending skills, and then they came out there and wrapped him up, trapped him. They were just like, damn, we can really get you right now. You think I'll be a treat for father? Nah, we here on a mission for the other 2. And then walked away. I'm like, you're lucky. That was what we like to say, luck. Holy shit. Yeah.
He really didn't care. It's like, this is not why I'm here.
She really walked away like you will.
That is something else you can say about the Fire Nation, though, is that if they have their destinies and they have their missions, that's what it's about. It ain't about nothing else.
I say the person who you're trained under, because it depends who you're trained up under. Because most of them really don't give a fuck about your life. They really just be like, just do your mission and just do it. Just do your mission to do it.
But they believe a lot about destiny. At least some of them do. I mean, you saw in the cartoon when Zuko was literally faced with his father, like with the eclipse, and the eclipse was gone, and he was like, "Why don't you face me?" He's like, "Because it's not my job to take you down. That ain't my destiny. I'm out."
Because I could if I really wanted to.
I'm probably gonna come get you. I ain't got to do it.
But that's the thing. He had every right to hit him too. He has so much right. But he had all the right. But that shows character development. Character development is
Well,
crazy.
at that point, the evilness was gone. Because he had already said, look, I'm finna go find my uncle and beg for his forgiveness after the way I turned my back on him. Because he's more of a father to me than you've ever been. And you know what? I'm finna team up with the Avatar and we finna train him and get him right so he can. I could do something to you right now, but it's not my job to do that. My destiny is to become the leader of this place. He's gonna come back and take you down.
Oh, yes.
Peace out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But now, season 8, to look at the final season, it wasn't bad. Like I said, it was just one of those things that I was just wrapping up. And then, like I said, they did my girl wrong. I'm still going to keep saying that until they put some redemption on her name. I need they need to show me some type of savagery. Like, I need some type of savage out of her in season 2. Give me some sort of savage that y'all introduced her so early.
I'll say this. We'll worry about that in season 2. And this actually worked out perfectly because look what time it is. So now, overall.
Overall of the show, to give it to the point of they took out a lot, but then there was some questions. They kind of released dive away to the main story of the progress. The action obviously looks great, but the acting of it was kind of cliche. They do a lot of cliche
They
lines.
did nerf her. I mean, kinda. If you're talking about like personality wise, yes.
Now Azula, they didn't. I don't think they really showed the 90, but they showed the blue flame a glimpse a little bit.
A little.
But it just like I said, I just mad about her introduction. That was all there was to me because her introduction was supposed to bring a more impactful. It was
at the end. They were saying where the blue. It was at the end.
Yeah, the blue was at the end. And even episode 7, they showed the blue, but they didn't really just like show it all the way. They just showed like what she. They did when she was facing the Earth guy, and she was super mad and was about to hit him with a final blow.
Lightning. That's what I was referring to. That's when I say the blue.
Oh, I was talking about the blue flames that in her.
Okay.
I wasn't saying lightning. I was talking about the blue flame that came across in the Earth, which was in her training. And dude, she got so mad, her fist turned into blue, and then she was like, "That's enough." And that's what was like, really. So that's what I was on me. Chapter 7.
Wait, we got off track. Overall review of the.
I'm just answering this question. He's just saying where. Chapter 7. Chapter 7, Earth. Overall, the review to everything else. Get to what I was saying. They kind of dive in and out of the story, but they kind of got rid of one of the most crucial and critical thing. Got rid of Toph's backstory, which is very critical to the story as well about Toph.
We'll wait and see what they're gonna do with that.
Dude, that's gonna be we gotta see. They're gonna have to do that right. When we came to like I said, points to chapter 2. My favorite, literally one of my favorite episodes of the season. Chapter 2 was amazing. Cosplay dress, Avatar Kyoshi, all of them was great.
No, we don't know Toph yet, but they've already touched on some of the things that affects Toph's backstory.
Yes, absolutely. Toph was not introduced to chapter 1. She was technically introduced to chapter 2, but they took her out a lot of backstory that made Toph to be incredible. And I am kind of I'm scared a little bit because they took it around the luchador wrestling. So I don't know how they're gonna do this. But overall, I give it a. I'm not even gonna be like all that. And then they did me dirty with the fucking Aang, Fire, Earth, Wind. Yeah, I gotta be that guy. So I gotta be that guy. I'm gonna give it a 7.1. I'm
7.1.
I'm gonna say a 7.1, and the only reason it really got the points really deducted a lot. Like I said, you basically lean away to some of the main storyline of the story when it came to Aang, because Aang was supposed to run away from home, but y'all made him run back. Weird. Like I said, Toph backstory was gone. Y'all did my man Boomy wrong a little bit, but I get to the seriousness that y'all went. Chapter 8, which when y'all did introduce Chapter 3, introduced my girl mad early. Holy fuck, made me mad. But I'll let y'all have it a little bit. When we got to what was the most critical thing that I said on here? It's on my notes. What the fuck did I say?
I know the main thing you talked about was obviously you talked about Boomy.
Yeah, I said Bane Booney was one of the ones talking about. They took away AIM. Yeah, I basically said mentioned all the thing. I forgot to say that in the cliche roles in the role, the acting of it a little bit was kind of cliche. Like I said, the awkwardness scene in the season chapter 2 when it came to Sokka and Sugi had that little fighting exchange to be in a warrior fight, but it was like awkwardness, but not like in story awkwardness, acting awkwardness. Like it wasn't like really delivered all the way for me. It was a couple of lot of slap on my face when I saw a couple of things. And like I said, the one of the most critical one is for me is when y'all did Toph and Boomy. So if I can see y'all change these type of characters and get rid of a lot of characters that kind of did play a role, especially when we got to the Water Tribe, season 2 is gonna make me be scared a little bit because, like I said, Toph, you gotta do it right. You can't. Toph is one of the most likable characters in Avatar ever. There's so many people that cosplay as Toph is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You better deliver Toph because the fans are going to be upset and uproar. I saw the reviews of mix backstory. So 7.1, you can get my points back up in season 2. I swear you can. Season 2, you can redeem it. You can put it 8. You can go to 8 in season 2. Season 1 is some good, but there's some bads. But we can make it better. Y'all can definitely make it better in season 2. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Now, would this be one of those things where I recommend my friends to do? I would. If you just want to have a quick roundup story, because I wouldn't be too mad about it. I'm like, yeah, because you got more of a backstories of more information about some characters. So I'd be like, yeah, in one way. But if you just really just want to be that huge fan of watching the cartoon, I'll be like, okay, watch cartoon before you do Avatar. So this would be something I'll recommend. 7.1.
Okay.
I'll say 7.1. Yeah.
I'm actually going to start right there. I enjoyed this more than I did Yu Yu Hakusho.
Of course.
And unlike Yu Yu Hakusho, where I said, if you have not watched the anime, there's no point in you even watching the Netflix because there's so much missing, you're not going to know what's going on. With this is different. Like, yes, there's some things you can either like or you don't like, but the bottom line is, even if you've never seen the cartoon, you can still watch this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for what they decided to keep in, for what they decided to explain, they explained it. And in the world that they're building, they laid it all out. You know, for better or for worse of how people want to feel. Now, the characters. I thought the characters looked great. I thought, for the most part, everyone looked phenomenal. Like, I'm with him. I love the way Iroh and Zuko looked. You know, like I said, Aang looks fine. You know, Katara, Sokka, they all look fine. You know, like I said, I'm a little on Azula, Tali, and May. You know, they're fine, but you know,
they ain't that's a
yeah.
That's not that's a what
you
is
know,
this? That was me.
Suki looks fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh yes.
That makeup. I want to see more cosplayers cosplay Kyoshi Warriors. I want to see it.
Of course.
I want to see more cosplays as Kyoshi Warriors. Like,
again, shout out to the makeup artists of them girls. Y'all made sure that makeup did not be unsymmetric.
Like I said, the fights were pretty cool. Like I said, the effects, but then again in 2024, you like to think the effects are going to be pretty good. You know, like I said, I kind of liked the idea, at least for a second, you know, Zuko saying, let's run hands. That's like, look, man, I don't need fire bending for you. Put them up. You know
that's what got me. I was like, wait. We finna tie Jutsu?
Run them hands.
We're tied Jutsu in right now.
I thought Yui looked great. Like I said, most of the people, like I said, outside of Azula and her bunch, I thought most of everybody else looked fantastic. You know, like for the things that they changed, most of it didn't bother me. I'm with you on Azula, but I will get back to that in a second. taking away Sokka's whole thing about women did not bother me. Because quite honestly, they wrapped that story up so early in the cartoon anyway. You know, like I think a lot of people kind of forget about that. You know, so it didn't bump me that he wasn't like that. It didn't even bump me that he was even early on. Not only was he serious, but that man was like overbearing. Because look, they put the pressure on me to run this place. Like the way he was talking to Katara in chapter 1, I feel it though, because like the man's under a lot of pressure. So it's like I get it. You know, so what they changed about Sokka did not bother me. Like I said, the other little things, meshing storylines together, in fact, bringing in the whole side and chat thing and putting it all in one episode did not bother me at all. If anything, if they're condensing it the way they handled it, we talked about it with Katara and Sokka, I thought it worked. You know, they did the other stuff, you know. The Boomy stuff didn't bother me as much as it bothered you. I get why it bothered you. But like I said, on my end, I would have liked them to have seen like a little more challenge of, hey, I'm doing this to help you, but I can still be upset that you left us. But nah, this was just straight up, you abandoned us, bro.
You abandoned me, motherfucker. Like, nah. Fuck you. Why
but
being jokey?
I'm not as down on it as you are. But yeah, he's like, man, Boomy broke my heart.
Like, Boomy was my dog, bro.
But I feel him though, because he's like, you're my friend. He's been alive the entire time. So he's been alive for the entire war, pre-war, during war, while the Avatar's just been gone. And not only is he gone, this man's supposed to be my friend. And he ain't around. All the stuff we had to deal with because you ain't here. So I feel him. But yes, they took some of the lovableness, like I said, out of him. The only thing that really bumped me the most was how they handled Azula. I'm not as down on you about how early they introduced her. I'm just a little down on how they treated her arc. I don't understand why they went that route with her arc of I'm jealous of my brother and I gotta prove to my father that I'm worth something. You know, and it was just like, that was never the case. Again, you're not supposed to make things exactly the same, and I'm not saying you have to make it exactly the same, but jealous of your brother? Nah, bro. I don't know.
They know it wrong. Fuck that.
You know, I don't know about that one.
Mm-mm.
And like I said, in the end, because of some of the things they took out, so now you're toward the end, and Aang has had no bending training when in the cartoon. By the time they got there, he actually had fire and water training by that point.
But he had none. All right.
But now he had none. So like, now some key points that you could have had.
They basically made this man depend on his avatar state, literally.
Right, it's like the man had zero building at this point, and like he said, they made some changes with about that could affect Toph's background. We don't know what they're gonna do with that yet. So, since we don't know what they're gonna do with that yet, I'm not gonna affect this season yet because what they do with Toph could end up being fan freaking tastic. We gotta wait and see. I'm not gonna judge this off of what might happen, but overall, I actually had a pretty good time with it. I will give it a 7.5. And if you are an Avatar fan, I think you should watch it. If you're not an Avatar fan, but you're curious and you just want to watch something you think you enjoy, I still think you could probably watch it. So that's where I'm going to be. A good solid 7.5 out of 10, which I think is like a really good review. So we were basically close. You gave 7.1. I went a little bit higher, but like I said, that's only because a couple of the things you were down on, I wasn't as down on them. But still roughly the same.
They disrespect my Azula. And y'all disrespecting my intro. Don't you ever disrespect my intro.
People don't understand. People hear sevens and go, how dare 7.5 out of 10 is a real, that is over 75%. Like, that is a good review.
That's I ain't saying fuck them. I'm not saying that at all. It's just like, I'm not blaming the actors. I'm just saying the things that I've seen.
I'll put it this way. I want to watch season 2. I have no interest in watching season 2 of Yu Yu Hakusho.
They did disrespect Azula. See? They disrespect her.
We all said it.
They disrespect her too wrong, bro. That made me mad. And then when they brought her, like I said, and then when you brought her up too early for me, y'all should have brought her up at episode 5 or 6
Like
for
I said,
me.
there's a
You
lot of
brought,
stuff. Like I said, a lot of
you
stuff
brought
that
her
had
at
been
3.
made.
What
I
the
knew,
what?
I knew they
What?
would make changes. That's why most of the changes did not bother me. But the Azula one, like the treatment of Azula is literally what kept me from giving this a solid 9. To be honest with you.
Disrespected Azula. They did my man wrong. They moved the storyline away. Then they switched with Fire Lord's army. It seemed like he cared about Zuko, but he really don't. But then we got to the
Just so
end,
you
like
get a twist at the end of the season.
we got
Just
too
so you
much.
can get a
It's
twist
kind
at
of
the
too
end
much
of the season.
contradictive that we got going on in here. It's like, hold on, bro. Stay here. Stay here. You're doing
But you
this.
didn't have to do it. Maybe that's one of the big changes that made the creators go, well, I'm gonna exit stage.
Yeah, because I was just like, what? When I heard the creators was going, I was like,
Something made them leave.
y'all did something. And I'm gonna figure out soon. Y'all did something to make them be like, I don't even want to do this. Y'all did something. I'm gonna figure out. We're gonna figure it out.
And I know I didn't mention it in my review, but we talked about it earlier. It didn't even bother me that they didn't have this freaking love thing going on between Aang and Katara. It was like,
when I said that, I was like, I don't know if y'all noticed it, but they took the love interest. It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
And you know what? Even exist in this hole yet.
I don't miss it. At least not right now. We'll see what they do later. But for right now, I don't miss it.
Yeah, because I was like, as soon as Aang got out, that's when their little love interest kind of started right there. I know what's up. I know my avatar. Don't do me like that. But no.
The love funnel? No, we're just talking about
the love interest that Katara and Aang had
liking each other. Like they just don't hint at it at all.
They did not one good bit of like some. So I mean, I ain't gonna say too much. I mean, of course, she had the mother talk, and then he could look in her eye glimpse, and they had a little hand, little touch, a little bit, whatever.
Like they got like the little thing, but it wasn't like as much as they had episodes where they were clearly being jealous of each other.
Exactly, like when my man Jet was talking, and then my man Aang and Zuko was looking at him like, "What the fuck you doing?" Like they both was looking at him like.
Well, like we said, when they were on Kyoshi Island and them girls was following Aang around, Katara felt some type of way about that.
Yeah, they took that away.
Which is fine. I don't miss it yet. Now
it's cool. It's all cool.
We'll have to bring it in because we know how the story ends.
Like I said, they got. The one big shout I will say is they did do the air volleyball thing and ran into the wall scene. I'm happy.
They, from the opening, they were like, we have to recreate that. We have
to recreate the opening, and then they didn't do it like in the thing of like in the intro, but they definitely include that on the island of chapter 2. I was like, respect.
The relationship landed with the fortune teller episode. Fight me. Well, it was the fortune teller episode. Like you already had that real sense that Aang liked Katara. The fortune teller episode was where you finally really started getting that sense that Katara liked him. All it took was for Sokka to be like, well, we say one thing about him. He is a very powerful bender. And she's like, he is, isn't he?
But no. Top of the hour, 10-11.
We did it.
We did it.
I said this wasn't even going to be a full, but it ended up being a full one. We had a lot to say.
Yeah, we made it. We absolutely made it.
Mainly because we had never talked about Avatar before. So, hey, now we did.
Absolutely. See, Chad, I appreciate all you guys really coming out today because I ain't going to lie. This was pretty a nice, interesting night. I'm not going to lie. This is really good. Please stick it tuned for next time. You know what I'm saying? We about to get some more. Apparently, he has some more great guests coming by. Me, I'm just the type of guy that just like to be surprised.
We're back to the guest next week. Don't worry. I purposely didn't book anyone because I knew we were going to talk about this.
Like that, the Avatar came out. I had to know what's up.
And we're not dependent on guests. We love to have them, but this is still our podcast at the end of the day.